Chapter 4689. The Wanshan sect is the absolute dominant force in the Wanshan domain, and is even one of the top forces in the entire Divine Land world. With such a force, the intelligence department under their control is naturally not mediocre. About half a month later, the intelligence department of the Wanshan family found out that a new Hadao had appeared in the distant Jianglan kingdom. Calculating the time, it should be one of their ancestors of the Wanshan family who was keen on the new one. I asked about a strong man in the Hadao realm who joins the infinite swordsmanship. Jianglan Divine Kingdom? Reverse Divine Sword, Duan Ling Tian? From the creation chart world? When the two Hadao members of the Wanshan family, Chen Zhouxiao and Chen Mingho, learned about the information about the new Hadao, they got together again. Grandpa, it seems that as you guessed, the newly promoted Hadao really comes from the world of creation and destiny. Chen Mingho spoke in a deep voice, with murderous intent deep in his eyes. It's actually not hard to guess. Chen Zhouxiao said calmly, if you don't say anything else, I will just tell you that I am walking the same path as you. Not many Taoist monks in the world of gods and earth would dare to do this kind of thing. After all, that would offend our Wanshan family. Only visitors from another world, from the world of creation and natal charts, would embark on this path without knowing it, and even when newborn calves are not afraid of tigers. However, whether he did it intentionally or not, since it has affected you, naturally you can't keep him. I will go with you to the Jianglan Divine Kingdom and try to kill him. Even if I can't kill him, I will seriously injure him. In this way, as long as he can be found out in a short time, he can be killed. Hearing Chen Jiuxiao's words, Chen Mingho's eyes lit up and a cruel smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. Visitors from another world? Duan Ling Tian from the inverse god realm? If you want to blame it, just blame it on you for accidentally embarking on the same path as me. Otherwise, there will definitely be a place for you in this world of gods and earth. It's a pity that you have offended me and our Wanshan family. Even if you step into the Hadao realm, you are bound to die. Soon. Chen Zhouxiao and Chen Mingho left the Wanshan family, left the Wanshan domain, and went directly to Jianglan Divine Kingdom. Wanshan domain was some distance away from Jianglan Divine Kingdom, but at their speed, they arrived at Jianglan Divine Kingdom in just a few days, and went to the capital of Jianglan Divine Kingdom as soon as possible. Because of the news they received, although Duan Lingshan's Duan Mansion used to be in Chuzhou City, after he was promoted to the Hadao realm, it was moved to the capital of Jianglan Divine Kingdom. Duan Ling Tian. In the sky above Duan Mansion in the capital, Chen Mingho stood alone in the sky, overlooking the ground below. The sound was transmitted, not only throughout the Duan Mansion, but even spread throughout the entire capital. I am Chen Mingho, member of the Wanshan family. I'm here this time to invite you to a battle to determine the future ownership of infinite swordsmanship. As Chen Mingho finished speaking, the Duan Mansion was shaken up and down. A strong man from the Hadao realm comes to your door. Before that, everyone in the Duan family also knew that Duan Ling Tian had been promoted to Hadao and became one of the only dozens of Hadao realm experts in the world of gods and earth. Everyone was surprised by this, because in this way, they would be in this divine land. Earth world you can also survive in a better and superior way. Unexpectedly, less than a month after moving here, another Hadao realm strongman came to the door and invited Duan Ling Tian to fight with him. Hong Mansion. Hearing the sound, Hong Dongquan's expression changed slightly. It's Chen Mingho. He's here so soon. Although Hong Dongquan has only entered the 8th level of the Dao, as an aboriginal of the Divine Land world, at his level, he is also very familiar with the strong ones in the Hadao realm. Chen Mingho is the Hadao realm achieved by combining the infinite way and the sword way into one. After knowing that Duan Ling Tian also entered the Hadao realm with these two methods, he also felt that Duan Ling Tian would offend Chen Mingho, and Chen Mingho might even come to trouble Duan Ling Tian. But he didn't expect it to come so soon. Royal Compound. Jiang Haishan frowned. As the patron saint of Jianglan Divine Kingdom, Jiang Tianzheng and Duan Ling Tian stepped into Hadao realm, the only Hadao realm in Jianglan Divine Kingdom. At this time, they also walked out of the royal courtyard. In the blink of an eye, Feng Su Yufeng arrived near Chen Mingho. Confronted and stand. Jiang Tianjing. The strong men in the Hadao realm who were both in the world of gods and earth naturally knew each other. Chen Mingho nodded to Jiang Tianjing and said hello. I am here for you Jiang Lan, the newly promoted Hadao Duanling Tianer of the Kingdom of God. Come on, it has nothing to do with you. Although he might not be Jiang Tiansheng's opponent if they really wanted to fight, it would not be easy for Jiang Tianjing to defeat him. Moreover, there is a strong man from the three ways beside him hiding in the dark, waiting for an opportunity. Fellow Daoist Chen, I have no intention of interfering in the matter between you and Duanling Tian. Jiang Tianjing shook his head and smiled. I came here to tell you that Duanling Tian is no longer in Jianglan Divine Kingdom. He left Jianglan Divine Kingdom with several of his close relatives more than half a month ago. Are you afraid that it's too late? Hearing this, Chen Mingho frowned and his expression sank. At the same time, the tyrannical consciousness swept out and enveloped the entire Duan mansion, and indeed no trace of Duanling Tian was found. For a moment, his face turned ugly. At the same time, he looked at Jiang Tianjing with an unkind look and said in a deep voice, Jiang Tianjing, before Ling Tian stepped into the Hadao realm, he might not have known that there was me in the world of gods and earth, who was also Hadao of the infinite sword. It was you who told him of? His departure was also because of your reminder? Facing Chen Mingho's almost interrogative inquiry, Jiang Tiansheng's brows instantly furrowed. Although he did not want to provoke Chen Mingho and had no intention of becoming an enemy of the Wanshan family behind Chen Mingho, it did not mean that he was afraid of Chen Mingho. Both are Hadao, and because Hadao is newer, he is stronger than Chen Mingho. If he hadn't been afraid that there was a strong man behind Hadao, Chen Mingho would have made a strong move long ago based on Chen Mingho's current attitude. Already. Now, although he would not take action, he still said in a cold tone, Chen Mingho, it's best not to talk nonsense without evidence. In the world of gods and earth, we know that you, Chen Mingho, are in the infinite sword Dao. Do you think you are the only one in the He Dao realm? In the world of gods and earth, among all the beings above the 7th level of the Dao, except for those who have no information, who doesn't know that you, Chen Mingho, are practicing the infinite sword Dao? Chen Mingho was about to speak, but someone spoke before him. Fellow Daoist Jiang, it was my grandson who took the liberty. How about I apologize to you on his behalf? Accompanied by a powerful voice, it was Qin Zhouxiao who had been hiding in the dark just now, confirming that Duanling Tian was not outside the capital of Jianglan Divine Kingdom, and he no longer needed to hide. Jiang Tiansheng's brows moved slightly. As expected, this old is here too. Chapter 4690. I've met Senior Chen. Although he secretly scolded the other party for being insidious and being in the three-way Hadao realm, he was still hiding in the dark waiting for an opportunity to attack, but on the surface Jiang Tianjing greeted the other party with a friendly face. I said that fellow Daoist Chen has such a bad temper, I bet it was Senior Chen who came here with him. As for apology, there is no need. Even though they were both in the Hadao realm, Jiang Tianjing was not a match for the Qin Zhouxiao in front of him, because he knew that the other party would not team up with Chen Mingho to attack him because of such a trivial matter. Moreover, with his strength, it is possible to return the whole body at the cost of minor injuries. However, once the two of them take action against him, they will fight him to the death, and they will really fight with their lives. At worst, the lives of the entire royal family of the Jianglan Divine Kingdom will be exchanged for the restlessness of the Chen family in Wanshan. Of course, he knew that the other party would not take action against him. After all, there was no interest dispute between him and the other party. A mere verbal conflict does not rise to the level of a life and death fight. This time, the two men came to see Duanling Tian simply because Duanling Tian embarked on the path of the infinite sword Dao and had a conflict of interest with Chen Mingho, so they wanted to deal with Duanling Tian. For the strength of Chen Mingho and the strength of the Wanshan Chen family, it is normal for them to want to eradicate Duanling Tian. It's a pity that the two of them came to nothing. Before that, he had warned Duan Ling Tian with the person from the Bitter Sea Temple and the Qionghai Divine Island, so that Duan Ling Tian had already left long ago. Duan Ling Tian was even worried about the safety of his close relatives, and even brought out his close relatives. Went for resettlement. In this regard, he actually felt that Duan Ling Tian was a little too cautious, because he was sure that as long as Duan Ling Tian did not die, even if Duan Lingshan's close relatives stayed here, the two members of the Wanshan family would never be able to do anything to Duan Ling Tian. Start with your loved ones. Once they do that, they will become the public enemies of the world of gods and earth. In that case, let's take our leave first. Qin Zhouxiao took a deep look at Jiang Tianzheng, and then left with Chen Mingho. While leaving, Chen Mingho said in a deep voice, "Grandpa, that Ling Tian came from the creation life plan world. He may not know that I master the infinite sword Dao, and he may not know that you and I will take action against him after he is promoted to He Dao." It must have been Jiang Tianzheng who tipped off the news. He felt that if Jiang Tianzheng hadn't tipped off the news, Duan Ling Tian might not have been able to take such precautionary measures without leaking anything. So what? Qin Zhouxiao said calmly, "If he doesn't admit this kind of thing, how can we press his head and make him admit it? Don't forget, he is also a Hedao, and he is a Hedao who is stronger than you. Unless this kind of person can be killed directly, once he becomes an enemy, it will be harmful to our Wanshan family." Hearing this, Chen Mingho's face darkened further, his eyes flashed with unwillingness, but he also knew that even if he was unwilling in his heart, there was nothing he could do. The Wanshan family had made him a success, but now it also became a hindrance to him. In other words, it was not only his constraints, but also his grandfather's constraints. But, can they give up on the Wanshan family? Of course it's impossible. After all, the current main direct lineage of the Wanshan family is the descendants of him and his grandfather. They are all descendants with their blood flowing in their bodies. They have no way to care about their life or death. Compared to this, Jiang Tianzheng did not leave any descendants. The reason why he protected the royal family of Jianglan Divine Kingdom was simply because it was the headquarters of his Jiang family. It would be far less difficult for Jiang Tianzheng to give up on the Jiang family than it would be for them to give up on the Wanshan family. This is also the reason why Jiang Tianzheng is still strong in front of his grandfather. If Jiang Tianzheng is really angered, Jiang Tianzheng can knock the table off. "Grandpa, since Duan Ling Tian knew that we would cause trouble for him and left, I'm afraid it won't be easy to find him next. I feel like a knot in my throat is at the thought of such a person contending with me," Chen Mingho said in a reluctant tone. Qin Zhouxiao sighed, "There is nothing we can do now, we can only take one step at a time. Duan Ling Tian, since he has entered the Hedao realm, he shouldn't hide directly. Let's pay more attention to the news about him. Once confirm his whereabouts and take action. That's all it can do." Chen Mingho nodded, his eyes full of unwillingness. Although Jiang Tianzheng, Yongye Divine Monk and Zhou Qingchuan all said that even if their close relatives stayed in the capital of Jianglan Divine Kingdom, the two Hedao of the Wanshan family would not be able to take action against them, Duan Ling Tian was still worried. So, he took everyone away. They were placed in a small country that looked like a paradise, located further north of the Endless Sword territory to the north of Jianglan Divine Kingdom. With Yu Shao's invincible strength in this small country, he was able to protect his loved ones. Nowadays, those who stay in Duan Mansion of Jianglan Divine Kingdom are basically people who have fled to the Divine Land world from the 10,000 realms and the lands outside the boundary to seek refuge with Duan Ling Tian. The people over there, headed by Zhao Ani, are in charge of Duan Mansion and continue to receive old friends from Wanjie and beyond. It is impossible to withdraw. After all, Duan Ling Tian still has many relatives and friends who have not been found. For example, there is no news about his son Duan Niantian, and it is not known where he has wandered in the world of gods and earth. When his wife Li rose secretly, he often sheds tears for this, and Duan Ling Tian couldn't help but feel heavy every time he saw this. However, his mentality is relatively good, and he feels that he has entered the Hedao realm. As long as his son is still alive, once he hears his name, he will definitely travel thousands of miles to the capital of Jianglan Divine Kingdom and return to Duan Mansion. I'll leave this to you. After settling his relatives and friends, Duan Lingtian said hello to Yu Xiao and then left. Next, he wants to find the new owner of the creation chart. Of course, he didn't tell anyone about this. Even Yu Xiao didn't know what he was going to do. He just thought that he was going to go out and make a name for himself in the entire divine world, so as to find those old friends who were living abroad. He is still injured, so this is a good opportunity for me. It would be perfect if I could kill him and get the creation life chart in my hand. Following the breath of the creation life chart he sensed after entering the Hedao realm, Duan Lingtian followed it all the way, thinking next, when you meet the current owner of the creation chart, you will definitely have to have a fierce battle, otherwise it will be difficult to conquer the creation. The natal chart is snatched. The opponent was injured, so he was very sure of defeating him, but it was very difficult to kill him. Even if the opponent's injury has not healed, he is still a genuine Hedao realm powerhouse, and he was even more powerful in the Hedao realm in his heyday before the injury than he is now. Chapter 4691. The Sea of Storms and Thunder is one of the many dangerous places in the world of gods and earth. Storms rage here all year round, thunder is entangled, and there are many dangers. The terrifying power of nature makes even ordinary Taoists dare not get involved easily. At this time, in the center of the storm thunder sea, deep in the vast sea, there was a cave hidden under the sea. The cave is simple, with only a stone platform inside. At this time, sitting on the stone platform was a middle-aged man wearing a dark blue robe, with a thin body and ordinary appearance, but with a pair of bright eyes. In his hand, he was holding a strange disc. There is something empty on it. The shadow flickers like a holographic projection, looking mysterious and unpredictable. Finally, the world inside has been stabilized again. Yu Luoha breathed a sigh of relief, his eyes flashing. Next, I will also be able to quickly recover from my injuries with the help of some creatures in the creation life chart. With my further attainments in the way of living sacrifice now, I no longer need to be as timid as before. While muttering to himself, Yu Luoha's eyes showed a bit of coldness. In the past, because his attainments in the way of life sacrifice were still shallow, after he obtained the creation life chart and constructed the world inside, in order to prevent the creatures inside from getting out of control, he set many restrictions for them. In the end, the last line of defense is the forbidden tribulation. With the taboo ring guarding the door, no matter how evil the creatures in the world of creation are, they can only reach the 6th level at most and cannot escape his control. Otherwise, once a large number of existences above the 7th level appear, it will be difficult to control him based on his attainments in the path of living sacrifice at that time. After all, his attainments in that path are still far away from the previous attainments of the old master of the path of living sacrifice. There is a long way to go. This creation chart is really a divine thing. Even I, who is in the Hedao realm, can't ignore its rules without destroying it or the world created on it. Although he, Yu Luoha, is the new owner of this creation life chart, before he masters the way of life sacrifice to a certain extent, he can also construct the world based on it, but he also needs to follow some of its rules. For example, there is no way to directly wipe out all life in the world of the creation chart. You can only spend some money and take advantage of the loopholes in the rules. For example, the Tower of Babel a few years ago was a platform he built to harvest resources. As long as the creatures in the creation life chart world enter it, he can use it to harvest those creatures. Last time the creation chart was damaged, not only a large number of living beings died, but also a large number of living beings wandered to all parts of the divine land. Thinking of what happened last time, Yu Luoha couldn't help but feel a pain in his body. If his whereabouts had not been exposed and he was surrounded and killed by a group of Hedao realm experts, he would not have been so passive. Not only was the creation chart damaged, but he himself was also seriously injured. What a pity. It's not easy for some high-quality materials to appear, but basically they all end up in the world of gods and earth. Thinking of the qualifications that he was interested in that could reach the 7th level or above, even though he had had many headaches, it did not affect Yu Luoha's current feeling of disappointment. Suddenly, Yu Luoha's consciousness was shaken, and his expression changed instantly. Not good dash. Someone from the Hadao realm is here. Yu Luoha never expected that he had been hiding for many years, even though this place was in a secluded location, and he didn't go out to show off. Why would someone from the Hadao realm come here to chase him? Moreover, it came directly towards him. Call out. A terrifying and shocking sword light descended from the sea, and it seemed to split the entire sea into two in an instant. The terrible pressure of the deep sea seems insignificant in front of this sword light, as if it is not worth mentioning, and its impact on it is almost non-existent. Boom! There was a loud noise, but it was Yu Luoha who evacuated the cave first, avoiding the terrifying sword light. At the same time, his face became extremely solemn. Infinite Sword Dao? Is this Chen Mingho from the Wanshanshan family? Thinking of Chen Mingho, Yu Luoha's eyes couldn't help but reveal some fear. Before he was injured, he really didn't take Chen Mingho's Hadao realm seriously, because the other party was not his opponent. And there is nothing that the other party can fear than the other Wanshanshan family's Hadao behind him, Qin Zhouxiao. Qin Zhouxiao is one of the few superpowers in the world of gods and earth who combines the three realms. His strength is much stronger than what he was in his heyday. Last time, Chen Mingho was among those who surrounded and killed him, including Qin Zhouxiao. Chen Mingho is here. 9 times out of 10, Qin Zhouxiao is coming too. Without any hesitation, Yu Luoha's first thought was to escape. He didn't even intend to fight with the opponent. He showed amazing speed in the deep sea, constantly flashing. However, many underwater creatures were knocked away by him, one by one turned into powder under the impact of the extremely terrifying force. The deep sea is turbulent, and the violent vibrations caused by the terrifying power are like the scythe of death, harvesting all the deep sea creatures in a large area around it. The response is quick. The power around him was shaking brightly, like a young man enveloped by a huge sword light, rushing into the deep sea, chasing Yu Luoha at a lightning speed, with a light in his eyes. This person is naturally not Chen Mingho. Nowadays, in the world of gods and earth, in the Hadao realm where the infinite way and swordsmanship can be successfully combined, in addition to Chen Mingho, there is another Duan Lingtian. Of course, Yu Luoha has been hiding here, and naturally he has not received any news about Duan Lingshan's breakthrough and promotion to Hadao. Duan Lingtian continued to chase Yu Luohi. Seeing that the distance between the two was getting closer and closer at a slow speed, an extremely hot luster rose in his eyes, and the creation chart was in sight. At the same time, he also looked at the back of the figure he was following. This person should be the new owner of the creation chart, Yu Luoha. When Duan Lingtian was chasing Yu Luoha soon discovered that there was only one person behind him. His unfolded consciousness covered a large area of the nearby sea, and no second person was found. It's really true that a tiger is bullied by a dog. If I were in my heyday, Chen Mingho would not have the courage to chase me. Yu Luoha couldn't help but laugh at himself. The last time he managed to escape from so many Hadao-level attacks was because he used the life-saving means at the bottom of the box. Now, he no longer has those life-saving means to rely on. Therefore, even if he faced Chen Mingho's level of Hadao, he knew that he would be in danger this time. The heavenly words that appeared in the world and outside the world in the past were created by you specially, right? Seeing that he was about to catch up with Yu Luoha, Duan Lingtian asked with interest. He also didn't expect that one day he would still have to hunt down Tiandao. Chapter 4692. In the abyss-like sea area, storms shook and thunder flashed. The sea water, which was shaking like boiling water, was suddenly rushed out of a channel rising into the sky by a swift figure. Yu Luoha ran out with an ugly expression. In his opinion, his chance of survival lay in the sea. In the deep sea of this sea of storms and thunder, storms are relatively calm. The most terrifying storms and thunders are above the sea. As long as he breaks out of the sea, even if the storm outside is difficult to stop the opponent, the other party wants to accurately attack. It's not that easy to keep an eye on him. Because the storm outside will not only affect the field of vision, but even affect the spiritual consciousness to a certain extent. His consciousness was affected, and it was not easy for the other party to target him. Damn dash. Chen Mingho dares to chase me alone. Yu Luoha looked aggrieved. He is also a famous figure in the world of gods and earth. The last time he faced many Hedao who joined forces, the people in the world of gods and earth, it seemed that he was destined to die. The group of Hedao who surrounded and killed him also felt the same way, but it was too late. But he escaped from death. In that battle, he escaped successfully at the cost of serious injuries to himself and damage to his birth chart, and at the same time, he shocked the entire world of gods and earth. It can be said that after that battle, although he was injured and in physical pain, his heart was happy. After all, he, Yu Luoha, was the first to escape from the alliance of the top Hedao in the world of gods and earth. For example, the old master of the creation life chart in the past was slaughtered when faced with a siege, and his body and soul disappeared. The fact that he was able to do this in Luo he undoubtedly shows that he is stronger than the old master of the creation chart. Although his current attainments in the way of living sacrifice are not as good as those of the other party, his reputation in the world of gods and earth is already greater than that of the other party. As for the way of living sacrifice, as long as he can survive well, as long as he is given time, he will be able to rely on it sooner or later. Creation, the horoscope, takes it a step further. Not only does he need to understand the way of living sacrifice to the 9th level, but he also needs to integrate the way of living sacrifice into the 2 ways that he originally combined. As long as the 3 paths are completed, looking at the entire world of gods and earth, he really has nothing to fear. Even if he faced the last siege, he would still have enough strength to retreat calmly, and he would not need to rely on any special means of escape. Recently, Yu Luoha has been hiding in the depths of this sea of storms and thunder, preparing to recuperate from his injuries while repairing the creation life chart, and then participate in the way of life sacrifice, and then continue his unfinished feat. He is already looking forward to the scene in the future when the 3 of them will combine to traverse the world of gods and earth. When the time comes, no one can kill him. But now, he is being chased, or by someone weaker than himself. How can this make him not feel aggrieved or depressed now? Wrong. Suddenly, Yu Luoha heard the sound coming from behind and felt something was wrong. The heavenly words that appeared in the world and outside the world in the past were created by you specially, right? Such a sentence, if it were Chen Mingho's words, would seem a bit abrupt. This Chen Mingho is not from Wanjia or the land beyond the boundary. Of course, Chen Mingho may be able to learn about everything that happened there, including the so-called Tiandao script, through the people left behind in the world of the gods and the world outside the world, but the other party will definitely not take it seriously, let alone bring it up at this critical moment. Yu Luoha subconsciously turned his head slightly and saw clearly the face of the pursuer at a glance. After all, he had forced a passage out of the storm and thunder sea, and the other party was also in this passage with him. Without the influence of the special environment of the storm and thunder sea, he could clearly see the other party's appearance. Duan Lingtian. With just one glance, Yu Luoha recognized the person who was chasing him. He was a celebrity in the creation world. He was also an invincible existence in the creation world. He was also the one who was fighting against him. His master was the first to break his destiny in the creation of the world, the blockade within Pan world. Through the creation chart, he could actually see everything inside easily. It's just that due to some rules and restrictions in the creation life chart world, even if he is the owner of the creation life chart, he cannot directly intervene in the life and death of the people in it, unless he allows everyone in it to be buried with him. However, it was naturally impossible for him to do that. In his eyes, all the living beings in the creation world are the material that he has raised in it. He needs to use them in practicing the way of life sacrifice, so naturally it is impossible to destroy them. After all, once they are destroyed, the creation chart will become useless and meaningless. Of course, there is another way, which is to lure the other party out of the creation life chart world, but once the channel is opened, a new entry and exit of the creation life chart will be exposed in the world of gods and earth, and the traces will be exposed. Once he was guarded by the backhand, arranged by those powerful people in the world of gods and earth, he would have no way to get close. Just like the multiple entrances that connect the world of creation and life to the world of gods and earth, although he knew where he was in the world of gods and earth, he did not dare to get close, because once he got close, he would expose himself. Those original entrances and exits were not made by him, nor by the old owner of the creation chart, but by several people who obtained the disintegrated creation chart after the old owner of the creation chart died. The top power in the world of gods and earth, it was developed with great effort. It is precisely because of this that with the death of the old owner of the creation life chart, the life before the historical separation, such as the old man Wukong who died in the creation life chart, did not know the world they were in. What's the mystery? The entrance leads to the mysterious world. Only Duan Lingtian and other beings who are in the creation world after the historical separation can have access to the 9 entrances. How can it be? He actually joined forces? Yu Luohe only felt a numbness in his scalp. He never expected that Duan Lingtian would join forces. How long had it been? From the last serious injury to now, less than 100 years have passed. And he remembered very clearly that decades ago, although Duan Lingtian had entered the 8th level of the most powerful, that is, the 8th level of the Tao, he had only entered it for the first time. In just a few decades, Ling Tianrua had only been promoted to the 9th level of the Tao. Although he was equally shocked, he could still reluctantly accept it. But now, during this period, Ling Tian directly crossed the 9th level of the Tao and entered the He Tao. Ha Tao. Who among the people in the world of gods and earth does not know that it is difficult to follow the path and reach the sky? This period of time, Ling Tian, a life from the creation life chart world, actually merged with the Tao? No wonder he can track me. Damn it. He is a life born in the world of creation life plan. Before he was promoted to He Tao, he could not communicate with the power of He Tao and could not detect the breath of creation life plan. But now he has stepped into He Tao, the power of He Tao is overwhelming, and the temple unexpectedly, he would naturally be able to detect the breath of the creation life chart that he could not detect before. Seeing Duan Lingtian getting closer and closer, Yu Luohe felt a little desperate. Could it be that he, the master of the creation chart, was going to die at the hands of a being who in the past was just a mere material in his eyes? He is not willing to give in. No matter how talented Duan Lingtian is, even if he stepped into the 7th level under his nose in the past, in his eyes, the other party is still qualified and he has never looked at the other party. But now, less than 100 years have passed since the last time the creation chart was exposed and he was besieged and killed. The qualifications he once regarded as his own have actually caught up with him and entered the world of gods and earth. The sealing cultivation realm, the He Tao realm. Chapter 4693. Duan Lingtian took action. Call out. The deep sea above the head shook, and the rolling power of the infinite swordsmanship swept down from the horizon, like a stream of stars, perfectly integrated with the sword wielded by Duan Lingtian, showing extremely terrifying power, as if the sword is slashed out, it can kill everything. The sword light roared in all directions, slashing at Yuluo who was running for his life in front. Duan Lingtian's eyes were solemn, with a bit of expectation. As long as he kills Yu Luohe, he can get the creation chart. The creation chart is related to his former hometown, the land outside the world, and the world. Who would be willing to leave their hometown if they could return to their hometown? He wanted the creation life chart and had no intention of practicing the way of life sacrifice. He just wanted to see if his hometown was still there. If it was still fragmented, was there a way to repair it through the creation life chart? It stands to reason that there is a high probability that it can be repaired. After all, whether it is the 10,000 worlds or the land outside the world, it is the world opened up by the creation life chart. Duan Lingtian, if I hadn't been injured, how could I have allowed you to be so presumptuous? Yu Luohe shouted angrily, his voice filled with unwillingness, but he did not sit still and wait for death. He turned around and struck out like lightning, and a bright sword light roared out to meet him. With the power of Hedao that also fell from the sky and broke through the deep sea, he wanted to fight with Duanling Tian competes. In an instant, two terrifying forces collided with each other as the swords intersected, making an earth-shattering noise. The aftermath of the terrifying power raged, even evaporating the water in this area of the sea. A large vacuum area appeared. Puff dash. The sword light finally overcame the sword light. Yu Luaha, who had not fully recovered from his injuries, opened his mouth and spat out a mouthful of blood, and retreated while taking action. Duanling Tian, on the other hand, is taking advantage of the victory to pursue it. At the same time, Chen Mingho went to Jianglan Divine Kingdom with his grandfather and failed to capture Duanling Tian. Not long after returning to the Wanshan family, he felt the vibration of the power of Hedao in the sky. It was obvious that someone was taking action and was using the infinite sword he had combined. The power of Tao. Looking at the entire world of gods and earth, before Duanling Tian appeared, he was the only one who enjoyed this path, and no other person could share the infinite sword path. That is to say, Duanling Tian, an otherworldly creature from the world of creation life Pan, didn't understand anything, yet he had no worries about the infinite sword Dao, which made him passive for a time, and the power of the He Dao was divided, which also meant that his strength will be subject to influence. It would be fine if the other party acted honestly, but if the other party forced too much Hedao power when he took action, it would undoubtedly affect his performance. The power of He Dao is so vibrating. Duanling Tian, are you fighting with someone? In terms of familiarity with the power of infinite sword Dao, throughout the entire world of gods and earth, no one can compare with Chen Mingho, even if he just succeeded in He Dao of infinite sword Dao. Duanling Tian did the same thing not long after. After all, Chen Mingho had already mastered the infinite swordsmanship. They've enjoyed this path exclusively for many years. Now, with this abnormal movement, he can naturally see the source of the abnormal movement. The power of Hedao is so turbulent, he is definitely fighting with other Hedao realms. If he just breaks into the Tao, there is no need to use so much power of Hedao. It was not difficult for Chen Mingho to confirm this. After confirming, he narrowed his eyes, a cold light flashed, and at the same time, a sneer appeared at the corner of his mouth. Avoiding me, right? You can hide for a while, but you can hide for a lifetime? Just like now, do you want to enjoy the power of Hedao? Dream. Chen Mingho immediately left the Wanshan family and found a secluded place. With full firepower, he tried his best to use the power of infinite swordsmanship to forcibly away the power of Hedao that had been borrowed by Duanling Tian. Phew. And this also directly caused the power of Duanling's shots to drop sharply. This is. Yu Luaha naturally discovered such an obvious change in the decline of Hideo's power. He had already had the will to die because he was injured and was no match for Duanling Tian. But I didn't expect that it would take a turn. Has the power of infinite swordsmanship been diverted? After seeing this, Yu Luaha couldn't help laughing. Duanling Tian, it seems that the sky will not stop me today. You are not the only one who can master this infinite sword power in this generation. It seems that Chen Mingho from the Wanshan family intends to help me. Next time we meet, I must thank him. When Duanling Tian was chasing him, he thought it was Chen Mingho from the Wanshan family, because Chen Mingho combined the infinite way and the way of the sword, but later he found out that it was Chen Mingho from the Wanshan sect. Duanling Tian actually joined forces with Chen Mingho in the way of conflict when Duanling Tian took action. He didn't think that if Chen Mingho took action at the same time and snatched the power of Hedao, it would affect Duanling's performance. But, just think about it. Because, in his opinion, Chen Mingho is unlikely to offend Duanling Tian so blatantly. After all, this time he can steal Duanling's power of harmony, but next time he fights with others, Duanling Tian can definitely take revenge. Go. When is the time for retribution? In this case, both parties usually compromise with each other. However, what he didn't expect was that Chen Mingho actually took action. Moreover, looking at this posture, it is obvious that he is robbing the power of Hadao without any reservation. Duan Ling Tian, as long as you don't conform to the third path, it will be difficult to kill me, unless Chen Mingho doesn't fight with you. However, judging from the current situation, Chen Mingho must have a grudge against you for joining the infinite sword path, otherwise it would not be possible to the power of Hadao at such a critical moment. When I regain my strength, even if Chen Mingho doesn't fight with you, don't even think about killing me. Haha. Yu Luoha's figure turned into a blade of light, broke out of the sea, and instantly disappeared into the storm and thunder, gradually drifting away. When Duan Lingshan's Hadao power was forcibly snatched away by Chen Mingho, he was about to kill Yu Luoha successfully, but in the end, he missed a move and Yu Luoha took the opportunity to escape from Duan Lingshan's lock, with the cover of storm thunder. Again, in addition, Chen Mingho continues to the power of Hadao, and it is no longer realistic for him to kill Yu Luoha. Continuing the pursuit, it was confirmed that Yu Luoha was faster than him and the distance became wider and wider. Duan Ling Tian did not continue the pursuit, but paused, because he knew that this time it must be a failure. We can only wait until next time to take action. Anyway, unless Yu Luoha abandons his creation life chart, he can find him. Moreover, even if Yu Luoha abandons the creation life chart, he can still find the creation life chart. It will be even better when the time comes. He can successfully obtain the creation life chart without having to fight Yu Luoha. After all, his purpose in chasing Yu Luoha was to create the life chart. Chen Mingho. Duan Lingshan's face turned gloomy and ugly when he thought of the initiator who led to his failure in chasing Yu Luoha. He didn't even offend the other party, but the other party misunderstood him like this. Damn it. At this moment, Duan Lingshan's eyes also pulsed with murderous intent that could not be concealed. Chapter 4694. Although Yu Luoha temporarily escaped, Duan Lingshan's sense of the creation life chart is still there. No matter where he escapes to the ends of the world, as long as he is unwilling to abandon the creation life chart, Duan Ling Tian can easily find him. Therefore, there is no situation where Yu Luoha will throw away Duan Ling Tian. The reason why Duan Ling Tian stopped and did not continue to pursue him was because as long as Chen Mingho kept acting as a stirring stick, when he took action, robbing the combined power of infinite sword Dao, he would not be able to capture Yu Luoha. There is little point in continuing to pursue it. When he used the power of the infinite swordsmanship, I had a clear reaction. I guess when I used the power of the infinite swordsmanship, he who also used the infinite swordsmanship also had the same reaction. Otherwise, it would be impossible for me to step in when I attack Luoha and plunder the power of Hadao, thus causing my strength to plummet. Standing in the sky above the sea of storms and thunder, Duan Ling Tian looked gloomy and stared straight in one direction. That was where Hadao Jiang Tianjing of Jianglan Divine Kingdom told him before, where the Wanshan Qin clan was located. The Qin family of Wanshan is a Shuanghe Tao. One of them, Hadao, is a being who combines three ways. He stands on the top of the pyramid in the world of gods and earth, overlooking the common people. It's really unpleasant, but also helpless. Duan Ling Tian grinded his teeth slightly and sighed secretly in his heart, with a hint of unwillingness shining deep in his eyes. The creation chart was right in front of him, but because of Chen Mingho's blockage, he could only let it go. Now, there were two paths before him. The first way is for him to continue to improve his strength, such as integrating the third path with infinite swordsmanship, and combining the three paths into one, becoming a strong man standing at the pinnacle of the world of gods and earth, comparable to Wanshan Chen's Hadao who combined the three paths. The kind of environment. At that time, the power of Hadao he masters will no longer be the power of infinite swordsmanship. No one can rob him of his power. His strength is not weaker than that of the old monster from the Wanshan Qin sect's three paths. At that time, the creation chart will be at your fingertips. However, this road requires a lot of waiting for him. After all, the combination of three roads into one is far more difficult than the combination of two roads into one. At least for now, he has no clue. The previous union of the two realms was also due to a trip to the Temple of the Sea of Bitterness, where I had an epiphany, and that state was something that can only be encountered but cannot be sought. It was also based on that epiphany at that time that the Sea of Bitterness was added to it. Temple Eternal Night Monk, with his guidance and observation of the Hadao monument, he took that step and was promoted to Hadao in a short period of time. As for the second way, it is simple and crude. Looking for a helper, he is responsible for locking Yu Luohe's position, and the other party joins forces with him to deal with Yu Luohe and seize the creation life chart. However, there is a problem. Who doesn't want the creation chart? Will the helper he is looking for not be tempted? Even if he is familiar with the Hadao of Jianglan Divine Kingdom, the Hadao of Kuhai Temple, or even the Hadao of Cheonghai Divine Island, he dare not trust them. Even if they say that they are wrong about the creation chart, he will only thought they were talking its nonsense. The purpose is to let him lead the way to find the creation chart. Just like what the CEO of a large company said in an interview when he was still on Earth in his previous life, "I never touch money, I have no interest in money." After all, you still have to rely on yourself. Now, unless one of his relatives and friends appears in the Hadao realm, he cannot trust anyone. If he wants to seize the creation life chart, he can still only rely on himself. The world of Divine Land is so big that although it cannot be said to be boundless, it would be difficult for ordinary people to travel all over it. In a remote corner of the Divine Land world, behind a dangerous sea area, there is an isolated island with rich mineral deposits, which is controlled by a nearby force with a fourth level of Dao realm. Here, a group of mining slaves are imprisoned. After they were captured, they have been mining here and being squeezed for endless labor. Nintian, you said you were miserable enough. You finally got freed from the creation life chart world, and escaped being annihilated by the way of life sacrifice. In the blink of an eye, you were sent here by the Chongshan League to supervise the miners' also restricted freedom. In the isolated island, a young man with a strong build and a feminine face shook his head and said to another young man who was tall and impressive. Hearing his companion's words, Duan Nintian smiled bitterly. "I can't help it. The reputation of the daughter of Vice Leader Guo of the Chongshan Alliance is really... I really can't chew it up. If my father knew that I found him such a daughter-in-law, then why don't you peel off my skin?" Since he was exiled from the 10,000 realms to the Divine Land world, he immediately appeared within the sphere of influence of the Chongshan Alliance. The Chongshan League is a Taoist force with a fourth level of Taoist realm. It can be regarded as a small overlord in this corner of the world of gods and earth. When he first arrived here, he naturally wanted to understand the environment he was currently in. However, in the process of getting to know him, he was attracted by the daughter of Guoqiu, the deputy leader of the Chongshan League. Guoqiu's daughter was not bad, but he had already heard about it before he was attracted by the other party. The other party's various affairs. What about 9 dragons and 1 phoenix? 2 dragons playing with Phoenix. Strangely enough, the other party fell in love with him, not because she wanted him to be her male favorite, but because she wanted to get married to him. Did you say you fell in love with him at first sight? He said that he was willing to help him, and even for Mingji, the other party personally killed all his male favorites. The scene at that time makes Duan Nintian still feel numb when he thinks about it. That woman is so terrible. Not to mention her cruelty. Just talking about her past, he couldn't accept it, and he didn't dare to accept it. Otherwise, if he brought such a daughter-in-law back in the future, he wouldn't be beaten by his father and mother. Originally, he was already determined to die, thinking that when the other party was angry, he would most likely kill him. But even so, he still wants to die to prove his ambition. Unexpectedly, the other party did not kill him, but sent him to this isolated island, saying that he would stay on this isolated island forever and never be able to leave. Somebody is coming. Suddenly, Duan Nianshan's expression became serious, and he reached out and pulled the young man beside him to hide. After all, they had sneaked into this area. According to the rules of the isolated island, they, the supervisors, could not be lazy. If discovered, a punishment is inevitable. It's Lord Shueping and Lord Shingan. The young man next to Duan Yintian looked at an old man and a middle-aged man passing by in the air not far away through the obstruction in front, and said in a low voice. At this time, the sound of the two people chatting without deliberately concealing it was also conveyed in a timely manner. I heard that another powerful Hadao man has appeared in Jianglan Divine Kingdom. Is it true? A second Hadao has appeared in Jianglan Divine Kingdom? It's true. I heard that a life that wandered from the creation life chart world to our divine earth world was promoted to Hadao just a few decades after arriving in the divine earth world. It's really scary. Chapter 4695. In the blink of an eye, the other two people who forced Duan Yintian and the two to hide went away, but their words were clearly transmitted to the ears of Duan Yintian and the two of them, and the two could not help but look at each other in silence for a long time. Final thoughts. Only the person next to Tian spoke to break the silent atmosphere. Yintian, I remember that you said. Including you, the beings in the creation life pan world were all exiled to the divine land world decades ago. How could someone be promoted to Hadao so quickly? The young man next to Duan Yintian asked curiously. You seem to have said that the most powerful being in the creation world is a strong man who is comparable to the 8th level of the Tao, and there is only one? Duan Yintian had told his friend about the world of creation, that is, the world, and even the places outside the world. However, he did not tell the other party about his family situation, nor did he tell the other party that the most recognized person in the creation chart world, the 8th level Taoist, was Duan Nianshan's father, Duan Lingtian. Duan Yintian nodded. As far as he knew, in all the worlds, and even the places outside the world, before the creation world changed and the lives in it wandered into the world of gods and earth, his father was indeed the only one who entered the 8th level of the Tao, that is, the 8th strongest one. Order. Although his master, Feng Qingyang, entered the 7th level before his father, he was still at the 7th level before they wandered into the world of gods. Is it the father? Thinking of this, Duan Nianshan's eyes lit up and he was extremely excited. In his opinion, if a strong person from the creation life chart world to the divine earth world has the best chance of entering the Hadao realm in a short time, he is probably his father, followed by his master Feng Qingyang. At this time, the young man next to Duan Yintian continued to speculate. Yintian, is it possible that there is a strong person you don't know about hidden in the creation world? Otherwise, if someone who entered the 8th level of the Tao a few decades ago was exiled to the world of gods and earth, in such a short period of time, even the most genius monster would have no chance of stepping into the Hadao. It's possible to be promoted to the 9th level. It is not an easy thing to achieve the Tao. There are only dozens of strong people in the world of gods and earth, but there are hundreds of people who have entered the 9th level of the Tao. In the world of gods and earth, monks who enter Taoism can be said to travel everywhere. Even among the most powerful monks who have entered the 9th level, there are still hundreds of people who have not reached the point of dying and going to bed in this world. For example, in Jianglan Divine Kingdom and Kuhai Temple, although there are only 3 people on the 9th floor of the Tao on the surface, in fact, there are still 9 people who have walked out of these 2 places and still survived. Quite a few. The reason why they did not stay in Jianglan Divine Kingdom and Kuhai Temple was because the powerful Taoists in these 2 places could not help them in understanding the 10,000 Taos, because the Tao they mastered get along with those 2 the strong do not coincide. In this case, they often go out, or travel on their own to find the Tao, or invest in some Hadao forces that are helpful to their understanding of the 10,000 Tao. In other words, 10 people who have entered the 9th level of the Tao can barely reach 1 Hadao. The remaining 9 levels of Dao Dao were not able to enter the He Dao realm the moment before they were wiped out by time. Hearing the young man's words, Duan Yintian couldn't help but become suspicious. Is he really not his father and master? But if it weren't for them, in all the realms and beyond, could there be a third existence more powerful than them? He couldn't figure it out. However, now, he couldn't help but feel curious, wanting to know who the strong man in the Hadao realm was. It seems that now I have a chance to take a gamble. Perhaps, this is my only chance to leave here. Duan Nianshan's eyes flashed. He was confined to this isolated island and was not allowed to leave. Even the Taoist masters stationed on the island did not dare to offend the deputy leader of the Chongshan League named Guo because of him. After all, he was the one named by the other party to be trapped here until he died of old age. Yu Chang, let's go back first. Duan Yintian greeted his companion and returned to his post. Then when the other party began to monitor the mining slaves at work, he walked towards the location of the two strong men who had just come over. Those are two powerful people who have entered the Dao, but they are only on the first level of the Dao. They are considered figures in the Chongshan League. One of them is the person in charge of this isolated island, and the other is responsible for taking people back and forth to receive the mineral deposits excavated here. Leader. Master Xueping, Master Shingan, there is an overseer named Duan Yintian who wants to see you if there is something urgent. Soon, someone came to report to the only two Dao realms on the isolated island. Duan Yintian was not qualified to meet the two of them directly. Duan Yintian? Xing'an frowned, this name sounds familiar. Xueping on the side smiled and said, it's normal for you to feel familiar, because that boy was sent here by Miss Guo decades ago. She bluntly said that he would be trapped here until he died of old age, making his life worse than death. It's him. I remembered. Xing'an suddenly realized that he had heard about this incident back then, and at the same time he could not understand the choice made by the guy named Duan Yintian. He could obviously get married to Miss Guo, climb up the ranks of vice leader Guo of their Chongshan alliance, and live on top of others from now on. But he rejected Miss Guo and could only spend the rest of his life on this isolated island. But why did he come to us? Xing'an was a little confused. Wouldn't it be better to let him come over? Xueping smiled. Soon, the two of them saw Duan Yintian, and Xueping glanced at each other lightly. Duan Yintian, I heard that you have something urgent to come to us for. Tell me, what's the matter? Upon hearing the inquiry, Duan Yintian glanced at the other people nearby. Seeing this, Xueping narrowed his eyes slightly. It seemed that Duan Yintian didn't want anyone else besides himself and Xing'an to hear what he was going to say next. This also made him even more curious, and he repeatedly ordered the others beside him to step back. Soon, only Duan Yintian, Xueping, and Xing'an were left at the scene. Can we talk now? Xing'an also looked at Duan Yintian with interest, wondering what the other party wanted to say to them. Two adults, before I say anything, I want to ask you too. I heard that a second Hedao strongman appeared in Jianglan Divine Kingdom recently, but I don't know if his surname is Duan. Duan Yintian took a deep breath and asked while holding his breath, fearing that the other party would say no. After all, this is his only chance to escape from here. Originally, he was thinking of escaping on his own after he was promoted to Taoism. But that would undoubtedly take a long time. Now that he had the chance to leave, he naturally didn't want to wait any longer. Chapter 4696. Faced with Duan Nianshan's inquiry, Xueping looked at Xing'an, because he also heard from Xing'an about the news about the appearance of a second Hedao realm powerhouse in Jianglan Divine Kingdom. He didn't know the specific details. Xing'an stared at Duan Yintian with lightning eyes and asked meaningfully, Duan Yintian, why are you asking this? Could it be that you want to say that you have some relationship with that strong man in the Hedao realm? Don't think that you both have the surname Duan. And have similar names, you can fool us. As Xing'an finished speaking, Duan Yintian hadn't spoken yet, but Xueping on the side was startled. Similar names? Although he learned from Xing'an that there was a strong man newly promoted to Hedao from Jianglan Divine Kingdom, and he was from Xing'an. People who live in the world of creation and horoscope and live in the world of gods and earth do not understand the specific situation of the other party, and they do not know the other party at all. Name. Now, after hearing Xing'an's words, he couldn't help but be curious. Similar names? What name? Xing'an glanced at Xueping and said, it is said that the new Hedao from Jianglan Divine Kingdom made an astonishing name in Jianglan Divine Kingdom when he entered the Taoist realm. He was known as the Reverse Divine Sword, and his full name is Duan Lingtian. Duan Lingtian is now famous not only in the surrounding areas of Jianglan Divine Kingdom, but also in all parts of the Divine Land. In fact, because of the long time gap now, even the Chongshan League, a small force in the mountains of the Divine Land world, began to spread the news about his name and the various things he had done in Jianglan Divine Kingdom. Trace. All this is just because he was promoted to a powerful Hadao man. Looking at the entire world of gods and earth, there are only a few dozen people. Duan Lingtian? While Xue Ping's pupils shrank and his face looked horrified, Duan Niantian on the side couldn't help but turn red and his whole body was shaking violently. Although he was mentally prepared, he couldn't help but feel inexplicably excited. His father was promoted to a powerful Hadao man. How many years has it been? Less than 100 years ago. Less than 100 years after arriving in the world of gods and earth, his father, who had just arrived in the world of gods and earth and was comparable to the 8th level of Taoism, was promoted to the top being in the world of gods and earth. Shingen was naturally aware of Duan Nianshan's abnormality, and even with his strength and spiritual awareness, he could easily feel Duan Nianshan's emotional fluctuations, and it didn't look like he was pretending on purpose. The names are too similar, right? There's only one word missing. Xue Ping also looked at Duan Niantian, and after seeing that he was very excited, asked, Duan Niantian, you also come from the world of creation life charts, and your name comes from the same place. The strong men of Hadao in the creation world are so similar. You two can't. Does it really matter? At this time, Duan Nianshan's emotions calmed down a little. He looked at Xue Ping and said bluntly, Master Xue Ping, Duan Lingtian is my father. With just one sentence, both Xue Ping and Shingen couldn't help but lose their composure. Soon, Xue Ping came back to his senses and said repeatedly, impossible. He fell on Duan Niantian with a scrutinizing gaze and sneered, Duan Niantian, you must have known the news about the Hadao realm powerhouse in advance, so you deliberately made up such lies, right? If you are really the son of that powerful Hadao man, let alone the recent breakthrough to the Hadao realm, even if he just wandered into the world of gods and earth decades ago, it is said that he has already reached the 8th level of Taoism. You have a father who has reached the 8th level. Will you be imprisoned here by Misqua? He had to question. After all, not to mention that Duan Niantian had a father who had entered the 8th level. Even if his father was only a person above the 4th level, Misqua would not dare to provoke him. After all, even the people behind Misqua, They Guoqiu, the deputy leader of the Chongshan Alliance, has only entered the 3rd level of Taoism. The strongest person in their Chongshan Alliance, the leader of the Shenlong Alliance who has never seen the beginning or end of the dragon, has only reached the 4th level of the Tao. Hearing Xue Ping's words, Sheng An's eyes on Duan Niantian were also a little more suspicious. After all, what Xue Ping said was completely reasonable. If Duan Niantian had such a father, he would be reduced to the situation he is now. How could she be forced to this point by the daughter of a mere 3rd-level Taoist? Facing the two people's doubts, Duan Niantian did not panic. After all, he did not lie. He smiled bitterly and said, two adults, with the temperament of Misqua, if I claim that I have a father who has reached the 8th level, I am afraid that definitely will think I'm lying. Even if she doesn't think I'm lying, she will most likely choose to kill someone to silence me if she offends me like that. My father is not only no longer around, but he has wandered to nowhere in the world of gods and earth. Even if I want him to help me, water from afar cannot cure my thirst for nearness. If she has the intention to kill me, I might take the risk. But the problem is, she didn't kill me. So, in order to survive, I can only choose to endure the humiliation and bear the burden. Speaking later, Duan Niantian also looked helpless. Before the two of them could speak again, Duan Niantian looked at the two of them seriously and said sincerely, two adults, I don't ask you to let me go now. After all, what I say is unfounded. In your opinion, nor it must be true. However, I still hope that the two adults can find someone to visit Jianglan Divine Kingdom to confirm this matter. I believe that if my father knew my situation, he would definitely come to save me personally. And the two adults will also be able to receive a favor from my father. The favor of a strong man in the Hadao realm is enough for the two adults to send someone to give it a try. There is actually no loss for the two adults, as long as they don't inform Gualili of the matter. As long as you are just confirming secretly, even if it turns out that I am lying, you don't have to worry about getting punished for it. Blame Gualili. Gualili, also known as Miss Gua by Xue Ping and her husband, is the daughter of Guqiu, the deputy leader of the Chongshan League. After hearing Duan Nianshan's words, Xue Ping and Xing'an looked at each other, and they both saw movement in each other's eyes. After all, this is an opportunity to get a favor from a strong man in the Hadao realm. A strong man in the Hadao realm. In the past, in their eyes, the leader of the Chongshan Alliance, who was at the 4th level of Dao realm, was an extremely powerful being that they looked up to. A strong person in the Hadao realm is someone that the leader of their Chongshan Alliance may not be able to meet even if they want to. Such an existence and a favor can definitely make them reach the sky in one step. I think we can try it. What do you think? Xue Ping Chuanin communicated with Xing and Xing'an responded, you can give it a try. It just so happens that after a while, I need to travel far away, and that direction is the direction to Jianglan Divine Kingdom. I will go there in person to see if I can meet the powerful Hadao realm. Please, find out whether what Niantian said in this paragraph is true or false. Chapter 4697. As Duan Niantian said, this matter is beneficial to both Shingan and Xue Ping. It doesn't hurt to give it a try. If they really get it right for them, it is a favor from a strong man in the Hadao realm. They had never dreamed of such an outrageous good thing in the past. After the decision was made through the communication, Xing'an looked at Duan Niantian, his face softened a lot. Niantian, I will personally go to Jianglan Divine Kingdom to confirm this matter. If what you said is true, I will make your father the first time comes to save you get out. You also know that even if Xue Ping and I believe you, we don't dare to save you. After all, behind Miss Gua is Deputy Alliance Leader Gua. Although we are also elders of the Chongshan Alliance and seem to have a high status, our value to the Chongshan Alliance is not as valuable as one of Deputy Leader Gua's fingers if we are tied together. Even regardless of this, in terms of strength, together they are far from the opponent of Deputy Alliance Leader Gua. So, you have to understand us. As soon as Xing'an finished speaking, Duan Niantian hadn't spoken yet. Xue Ping also echoed from the side, and his attitude towards Duan Niantian also changed. If this is really the son of a strong man in the Hadao realm, then that is, they need to flatter and support its existence must not be neglected. Even if it's not completely confirmed yet, it's impossible for him to treat the other party as seriously as he did in the past. My lords, I understand. It was not difficult for Duan Niantian to guess what the two of them were thinking, but they still needed their help now, so he said it very politely. At this moment, he also saw the light of escape. At the same time, something moved in his mind. Mother should be with father. I just don't know if father has found Siling and the others. At this thought, he couldn't help but sigh secretly. Since he wandered into the world of gods and lands decades ago, he has been alone. Although he had companions by his side when he was wandering around in the outer land, before the collapse of the outer land, he happened to be alone, so that he and his companions they didn't live together somewhere in the world of gods. Over the years, in this world of gods and earth, although his life is not worse than life, it is also extremely boring and helpless. It is completely different from the past when he was in Wanjia and the land outside the world. How many times he was in a daze, thinking about the good life in the past. However, all of that, before today, had become a mirror in his eyes, hard to reach, and a luxury. But today, after learning that the new Hadao powerhouse in Jianglan Divine Kingdom was his father Duan Lingtian, he realized that everything he enjoyed in the past might not be able to come back. His father was not only the top strong man who could protect him in the world of the world and the world outside the world in the past, but now he was also the ceiling that could protect him in the world of gods and earth. Now, just wait for Xing'an to go to Jianglan Divine Kingdom to confirm my identity. Duan Niantian was not worried about this, because he never lied or felt guilty at all. In the next period of time, Duan Niantian lived a much more comfortable life on this isolated island, because Xue Ping secretly took care of him, so that he would not be treated like a donkey like in the past. The reason why it was secretly was because before it was confirmed that Duan Niantian was the son of a strong man in the Hadao realm, Xue Ping did not dare to offend Miss Guo because of Duan Niantian. In this isolated island, there is also Miss Guo's spy. However, it was difficult for others to detect Xue Ping's little tricks, but Yu Chang, who had the best relationship with Duan Niantian and had long noticed that Xue Ping often deliberately made things difficult for Duan Niantian in the past, realized something was wrong. Niantian, Xue Ping is. No, are you in a good mood? I don't even call you around like I used to, probably. Duan Niantian was stunned for a moment, then nodded. Regarding the fact that his father is a new member of the Jianglan Divine Kingdom, he has no plans to tell the other party for the time being, because telling the other party is useless except to show off, and if the other party really betrays his trust, Guo Lily will know in advance. Shao, this is not a good thing for him. It's really weird. Then Xue Ping, what good thing happened to him? Yu Chang was very curious about this, but after racking his brains, he couldn't figure out what good thing happened to the other party. It was rare that he didn't continue to target Duan Niantian. At the same time, after Shingan went out to finish his own affairs, he continued to move forward, aiming directly at the location of Jianglan Divine Kingdom. After all, she was a first-level Taoist realm. After a while, she finally entered the territory of Jianglan Divine Kingdom, and immediately found out the whereabouts of Duan Lingtian, the newly promoted Hadao powerhouse of Jianglan Divine Kingdom. The capital of Jianglan Divine Kingdom, Duan Mansion. Then, of course, he asked to see Duan Lingtian and frankly told him that there was news about Duan Lingshan's son, Duan Niantian. Duan Niantian? Now, although there are no relatives or friends of Duan Lingtian among the remaining people in the Duan Mansion, there are still some people who know the existence of Duan Niantian. After getting the news, some people immediately went to find the old man Qingyun, Zhaoani. He was also the strongest 7th-level powerhouse of the Qingyun holy sect in the land outside the world in the past. Before Duan Lingtian left last time, he had approached Zhaoani and asked him to help take care of the remaining people in the Duan family. Does anyone know the news about Duan Niantian, the son of brother Lingtian? Zhaoani naturally knew that the son of brother Lingtian had not been found yet. Now that someone came to the door and said that he had news about the other party, he naturally did not dare to neglect and quickly said, put down what you were doing for a while and go to Duan Mansion. Now, he also knows that the new Hadao of Jianglan Divine Kingdom is Duan Lingtian. When I first found out about it, I was naturally extremely shocked. Apart from being shocked, I was also happy for Duan Lingtian, and even felt confident in my heart. I felt that in the lives of those who came out of the creation life chart world, there was finally someone comparable to the divine soil. The existence of the top group of strong men in the world. Moreover, he has been tied to Duan Lingtian for a long time. Duan Lingtian is stronger and he can live a more prosperous life in the world of gods and earth. Do you really have news about Duan Niantian, the son of my brother Lingtian? After seeing the person coming, Zhaoani asked straight to the point. At the same time, his spiritual consciousness unfolded, and his aura swept out, oppressing the other person's body, making him tremble, and his eyes were dead. Staring at the opponent's face, wanting to confirm whether the other party is lying through their micro-expressions. So strong. Xing'an was shocked in his heart. At the same time, he felt as if his whole body was about to fall apart. He realized that the person in front of him was definitely above the 4th level of the Tao. So he quickly begged for mercy, my lord, please put away your spirit. Knowledge, if Duan Lingtian, if your excellency really has a son named Duan Niantian, I do know where he is now. But he didn't know that Zhaoani was not a 4th-level Daoist, but a 7th-level Daoist. Where is he? Zhao Enya's eyes lit up, and at the same time he stopped pressing the other party and asked bluntly. After learning about Duan Niantian's current situation from Xing'an, Zhao Enya's face darkened and his eyes shone with coldness. My lord, please convey this matter to Lord Duan Lingtian. Xing'an continued. Although the strength of the person in front of him is not weak, not even under the leader of their Chongshan alliance, the target of his trip is the newly promoted Hadao strongmen, not the other party. The other party's favor is not in the Hadao realm. The favor of a strong person is of high value. Chapter 4698. Brother Ling Tian has gone away on business and won't be back for a while. Zhao Ani glanced at the other party and said impatiently, "You can tell me the same thing about this matter. Don't worry, if this matter is done, as long as you can help me bring back my Niantian nephew, I, Zhao Ani, will never treat you badly." I, Zhao Ani, although my strength is far inferior to that of Brother Ling Tian, I am also at the 7th level of Taoism. At this time, after hearing Zhao Enya's words, Xing'an finally came to his senses. Brother Ling Tian? The man in front of him seems to have called Duan Ling Tian, the powerful Hadao man, Brother Ling Tian from the very beginning. This shows that the relationship between the two is extraordinary. Moreover, the opponent turned out to be a being on the 7th level of the Tao, much stronger than he imagined. Such an existence is far inferior to even the leader of their Chongshan alliance. Xing'an took a deep breath, looked at Zhao Ani with a careful smile and said, "Sir Zhao Ani, if you bring Master Nian Tian back, I hope you can say a few nice words for me in front of Master Duan Ling Tian in the future, and tell him that his name is Shingan, and he is an elder of the Chongshan League in the Dark Night Forest in the eastern region of Shaoshan Island." After confirming that what Duan Niantian said was true, Shingan also called Duan Niantian Master Niantian and seemed to be very familiar with him. Hearing Xing An's words, Zhao Ani took a deep look at Xing'an and finally came to his senses. This is his plan to ask for favors from his brother Ling Tian. He smiled calmly and said, "Brother Shingan, don't worry about this. If you can help my nephew Nian Tian return home, let alone my brother Ling Tian, I won't treat you badly. Even I won't treat you badly. You know, my nephew Nian Tian is the only son of brother Ling Tian. You should know what he means to my brother Ling Tian. It can be said that even if you make demands of me, as long as I can do my best, I will never treat you badly." As soon as Zhao Ani said these words, Xing'an was pleasantly surprised. He didn't expect that Duan Niantian was the only son of the newly promoted Hadao strongmen. It seemed that he had made a lot of money this time. He didn't expect that he just came to confirm with the idea of "try it," which verified the truth of what Duan Niantian said. At the same time, he thought of the eldest lady of the Guo family who had imprisoned Duan Niantian on that isolated island. This time, not only will Guo Lily be in trouble, but also our Chongshan League's deputy leader Guo Qiu, and even the entire the Guo family will probably be in trouble too. As for betraying his deputy leader, Shingan didn't feel any psychological pressure at all. Because he knew that even if the alliance leader knew about this, the alliance leader would not be unhappy. After all, he was the one who saved the Chongshan alliance. If the powerful Hadao men came to the door on their own, would the Chongshan alliance still exist? As the leader of the Chongshan alliance, can he still survive? When the time comes, the alliance leader will definitely be very grateful to him. Coupled with the care of the 7th level Taoist in front of him and the favor of the Hadao level powerhouse, Shingan will reach the pinnacle of his life from now on. "Master Zhao Ani, when is it convenient for you to come with me?" Xing'an asked. Zhao Ani pondered for a moment and said, "I will go to the royal family first to say hello to someone, and then I will come back and set off with you." There is no way, now he is not only taking care of the people in Duan Mansion, but also his own people. There are many people here who need his care. When he leaves temporarily, he must say hello to the royal family and ask them to take care of them. His own people and the people of Duan Mansion. With the friendship between his Ling Tian brother and the powerful royal family, it was impossible for the powerful royal family to refuse this. Zhao Ani went to the royal family. After saying hello, he asked directly if he wanted the royal family to send a strong person to accompany him. In the end, for the sake of safety along the way, Zhao Ani was accompanied by a 7-level strongman from the royal family and went with him to the remote Shaoshan Island. When Xing'an listened to Zhao Enya's introduction to the new faces around him, he was not too shocked. After all, he was also the son of a newly promoted Hadao strongman from Jianglan Divine Kingdom. It was very reasonable for the royal family to send a strong man to accompany him to pick him up. In this way, Xing'an took Zhao Ani back to Shaoshan Island. On the way, Xing'an also told Zhao Ani truthfully what happened to Duan Niantian there. Before Zhao Ani could speak, the strong man from the royal family was already numb and took a breath of cold air. He didn't expect that there would be someone who could seek death to that extent. Even the only son of a strong man in the Tao realm would dare to provoke him like that. Waiting place step, it is simply asking for death. Zhao Enya's face turned completely gloomy, his eyes flashed with murderous intent, and he had already sentenced the Guo family father and daughter to death in his heart. Zhao Ani led Xing'an along the way, so the same journey took Xing'an a long time to go to Jianglan Divine Kingdom, but it didn't take long to go back. Lord Zhao Ani, in front of you is Shaoshan Divine Island. Shaoshan Divine Island, there used to be a strong Hadao master, but that strong Hadao passed away 3,000 years ago. Now the strongest ones on Shaoshan Divine Island are two but in the existence of the 9 levels of the Tao. When he was about to arrive at Shaoshan Divine Island, Xing'an introduced to Zhao Ani, our Chongshan Alliance is just an ordinary force in the Dark Night Forest in the eastern region of Shaoshan Divine Island. The strongest leader is a being who has entered the 4th level of Taoism. As for the Deputy Alliance leader Guoqiu, he has only entered the 3rd level of Taoism. Soon, Shingan took Zhao Ani directly to an isolated island near the Dark Night Forest on the coast. It was also a mining area occupied by the Chongshan League, and Duan Niantian was inside. Xue Ping saw Xing'an bringing someone back, and the two people around Xing'an gave him a feeling of extreme danger. He didn't even need Xing'an to tell him, he had already guessed that what Duan Niantian said was true, and it was indeed that Jianglan God the son of Guoxin Hadao. Xue Ping, take the 2 adults to see Master Niantian. Xing'an urged. At the same time, the voice message reminded, these 2 are both strong men who have entered the 7th level. Entering the 7th floor. Hearing this, Xing'an's heart trembled. With such a presence, looking at the entire Shaoshan Island, he was considered a giant. 2 adults, please come this way. Xue Ping did not dare to neglect and quickly took the 2 of them to find Duan Niantian. Niantian, do you still remember me? Zhao Ani had met Duan Niantian before. Although he only met him once, he remembered him in his heart. Now he saw this man who was somewhat similar to his Lingtian brother again. Little guy, of course he recognized the right person at a glance square. You are Uncle Zhao. Duan Niantian naturally remembers Zhao Ani. After all, this was the most powerful 7th level powerhouse of the Qingyun holy sect in the land outside the world. Haha, it's me. Zhao Ani laughed, don't worry, you are completely safe from now on. Uncle Zhao will take you home. As soon as these words came out, Duan Niantian looked excited and felt that his waist was completely straightened. Chapter 4699. Since Yu Luoha, the new owner of the creation chart, was indirectly rescued by Chen Mingho of the Wanshan Chen family, Duan Lingtian followed the attraction of the creation chart to him and chased Yu Luoha several times. However, at every critical moment, Chen Mingho would take action to seize the combined power of infinite sword Dao, greatly reducing his strength, allowing Yu Luoha to escape again and again. Even, the most recent time, Yu Luoha the injury further recovered. Under Chen Mingho's tricks, Yu Luoha did not even choose to escape. Instead, he stayed and fought with him fiercely. In the end, it ended in a draw, and Yu Luoha also after confirming that he couldn't take down Duan Lingtian, he laughed arrogantly and walked away. Duan Lingtian, I advise you not to mess with me again. Otherwise, when I recover further from my injury next time, and with Chen Mingho's help from across the air, you will be doomed to be disgraced when you fight me. This time, Yu Luoha was very arrogant when he left, as if he was eager for Duan Lingtian to find him again. Duan Lingshan's face was naturally very ugly. Because he knew that although the other party's words were unpleasant, they were true. The recent battles also made him realize that Yu Luaha's injuries were constantly recovering, and now he had recovered to the point where he could draw a tie with him who was beaten by Chen Mingho. Next time, as Yu Luaha recovers further from his injury, he will most likely be at a disadvantage if he continues to be overtaken by Chen Mingho. Watching Yu Luohe leave, Duan Lingtian did not pursue him because he knew that it would be useless to pursue him, and at most he would end up in a draw. Although I felt aggrieved and angry, there was nothing I could do about it. Chen Mingho. After coming to the world of gods and earth for nearly 100 years, Duan Lingtian felt unforgettable hatred for a person for the first time. The murderous intent in his eyes was hard to hide. This account, one day, I, Duan Lingtian, will make a good settlement with you Ichiban. In a flash, Duan Lingtian had disappeared from the spot. At the same time, in the distant Wanshan clan, Chen Mingho, who was fighting for the way, confirmed that Duan Lingtian did not continue to use the infinite power of swordsmanship, and then stopped, with a sinister smile on his lips. Duan Lingtian, as long as I, Chen Mingho, are here, you can't even think about using the combined power of infinite sword Dao to your heart's content. At some point, an old figure appeared. He glanced at Chen Mingho and shook his head. If you do this, you will not only treat the symptoms but not the root cause. Even for you, you will kill 1,000 enemies and lose 800 to yourself. Today, you can steal Ling Tian's combined power. In the future, when you fight with others, he can also steal the power and affect you. The person coming is none other than the being of the Wanshan family who combines the three realms, Chen Jiuxiao. Grandpa, you don't have to persuade me on this matter. Chen Mingho shook his head and said, if I don't do this, my thoughts will not be clear, and it will be difficult to comprehend the third path to the 9th level, let alone combine the third path. Furthermore, Duan Lingtian came out of the world of creation and life, and is helpless in the world of gods and earth. He can only rely on himself for everything. If he is overtaken by me, he will definitely feel more frustrated than if I am overtaken by him. After all, I still have my grandfather as my backer. With you here, Grandpa, who dares to bully me? After talking about it, a look of pride appeared on Chen Mingho's face at the right time. Seeing this, Chen Jiuxiao said no more. When the news of Duan Lingshan's promotion to Hadao spread throughout most of the world of gods and earth, people who had a grudge against him from the original birth chart also received news one after another. Duan Lingtian was promoted to Hadao. During the recent period, although Lei Hong was still in Jianglan Divine Kingdom, he had been in seclusion and ignored what was going on outside the window. It was not until he left seclusion today that he heard that Duan Lingtian had been promoted to the Hadao realm a year ago. For a moment, his expression turned completely gloomy. Although he was no match for Duan Lingtian when he created the Life Pan world, and was even almost killed by Duan Lingtian, and wasted his life-saving means, this did not affect his hatred for Duan Lingtian at all. He was not afraid of the other party, and even dreamed of taking revenge on Duan Lingtian in various ways. This was also the reason why he wanted to take action against Duan Mansion last time when Duan Lingtian was not in Duan Mansion. He knew that he was hardly Duan Lingshan's opponent and could only seek revenge in this way. Although he has always known in his heart that with Duan Lingshan's heaven-defying talent, even if they were exiled to the world of gods and earth together, it would be difficult for him to catch up with him. However, it did not mean that he did not want to chase him, close the distance with him, or even as for catching up with each other one day in the future. The world of Divine Land is huge, with many opportunities and adventures beyond ordinary people's imagination. Maybe one day he will get lucky and catch up with Duan Lingtian or even surpass Duan Lingtian by chance. But now, after learning that Duan Lingtian was promoted to Hadao, he felt despair deep in his heart. He felt that it was almost impossible for him to catch up with Duan Lingtian in this life. Under such circumstances, it is naturally impossible for him to be in a good mood. Therefore, Lei Hong found a restaurant and kept pouring himself alcohol, making himself like a drunkard. He drank for several days and nights before stopping. Finally, when he sobered up, he began to warn himself, from now on, unless you are completely sure, you cannot easily touch the people around Duan Lingtian. After all, Duan Lingtian is not what he used to be, and there may be some tricks left that can cause him to capsize in the gutter. Revenge must still be avenged. However, you need to be more cautious. Not only was Lei Hong depressed about Duan Lingshan's breakthrough, but also Yun Xinfeng, who was somewhere in the divine land world far away from Jianglan Divine Kingdom, was also the former Yun Qinyan. After learning that Duan Lingtian was promoted to Hedao, my face is also difficult look beyond compare. His luck is pretty good. After coming to the world of gods and earth, he has encountered many adventures, and now he has entered the 4th level of the Tao. Under this situation, he felt that the distance between him and Duan Lingtian was getting closer and closer, and he might not have the chance to kill Duan Lingtian with his own hands. After all, before this, he, who was outside the boundary, never dared to dream that he would still be able to kill Duan Lingtian. I can kill Duan Lingtian with my own hands because the gap is too big, and there is a forbidden calamity blocking the way. Even if an ordinary person can break through to the strongest level, at the 6th level, it is also difficult to enter the 7th level. After coming to the divine land world, he felt like a fish in water, and even felt that this was his blessed land. More than once, he has dreamed of coming to seek revenge on Duan Lingtian in person, trampling Duan Lingtian under his feet again, recreating the scenes when he trampled Duan Lingtian under his feet when he went to that secular plane. Even after stepping on it, he will not let Duan Lingtian go like he did in the past. This time he will kill Duan Lingtian completely to avoid future troubles. He still regretted the thought he had made at that time, raising a tiger for trouble, and he still regretted it when he thought about it. He wished he could be reborn and go back to that moment, where he killed Duan Lingtian completely regardless of his cousin Xia Ningxu's dissuasion. Now, after learning that Duan Lingtian had broken through and been promoted to the Hedao realm, Yun Xinfeng collapsed on the ground with a look of despair and helplessness on his face, and the confidence he had finally built collapsed. How to pursue this? Duan Lingtian has now been promoted to Hedao and has become one of the dozens of most powerful people in the world of gods and earth. Even if he has a chance to become a strong man in the Hedao realm in the future, it is unrealistic to catch up with Duan Lingtian and want to kill him. Moreover, he really has no confidence that he can succeed in Hedao and enter Hedao in his lifetime. Hedao is so difficult. Chapter 4700. Whether it was Lei Hong or Yun Xinfeng, Duan Lingtian naturally didn't know what they were thinking right now. Of course, the current Duan Lingtian has not noticed these two people for a long time. At most, he is a little defensive in his heart to avoid being taken advantage of by the other party to steal his home and hurt his relatives and friends. Although he has now become a strong man in the Hedao realm, he is too busy to take care of his family and friends at all times. The world of divine earth, unlike the world of creation and destiny, has the power of laws, which can condense the clones of laws. At first, when the world of creation and destiny collapsed and fell into the world of gods and earth, Duan Lingshan's clone of laws was annihilated and disappeared. Unless you can return to the creation life chart world again and sense the power of the law, you can condense the law clone again. Go back first. Duan Lingtian, who did not intend to continue chasing Yu Luohe, chose to go back to his wife's parents. After confirming that they were all safe and sound, he returned to Jianglan Divine Kingdom alone. Is there any news about Niantian? After learning from the royal family of Jianglan Kingdom that someone knew about his son Duan Niantian, and that Zhao Ani had brought a royal family to the 7th level to pick up his son, Duan Lingshan's eyes brightened, and he also told Jiang Hai Shandao said thanks. Jiang Tianzheng, the powerful Taoist in the royal family, hardly cares about anything. Except for the contemporary emperor, the person in charge of the royal family is Jiang Haishan, who is on the 9th level of Taoism. Looking at the entire Shaoshan Divine Island, the Chongshan Alliance is just an insignificant small force. The Dark Night Forest, which is located in the coastal corner of the eastern region, cannot even be ranked among the top 3 among the many forces in the Dark Night Forest. If we say that the strongest force in Shaoshan Island is none other than the Shaoshan Dao sect. Just by looking at the name, you can tell that this sect has the same name as Shaoshan Divine Island. In fact, The reason why Shaoshan Divine Island was renamed Shaoshan Divine Island was because of Shaoshan Dao sect. The Shaoshan Dao sect may not be the oldest force on the Shaoshan Island, but it is definitely the most powerful force. Just because, in the history of Shaoshan Dao sect, there have been 3 strong men in the He Dao realm. Even the last strong man in the He Dao realm on Shaoshan Island came from the Shaoshan Dao sect. Although there are no powerful people in the He Dao realm in the contemporary Shaoshan Dao sect, there are as many as 3 people who have entered the 9th level of the Dao. As for the 8th level of the Dao, there are more than 10 people. Of course, most of them are traveling outside to seek breakthroughs. Only 1 who has entered the 9th level and 3 who have entered the 8th level stay in the Shaoshan Dao sect. One of them, who entered the 8th level of Taoism, was named Yang Tianhe, and he was the great elder of Shaoshan Taoism. Now, he was frowning and looking at his son in front of him. Do you really want to marry her? With her status and background, she is not worthy of being your Taoist companion. Yang Tianhe looks like a middle-aged man, with a resolute face, tall body, and a hint of majesty in his movements. And his son Yang Chun, whose facial features are quite similar to his, has a hint of immaturity between his eyebrows. At this time, he is looking at Yang Tianhe seriously. Father, Yao Yao and I are. Love. Love? Yang Tianhe smiled coldly. In my opinion, she has taken a fancy to your background, right? The person you love her may not necessarily be the one she loves. Yang Tianhe had many children in his life, but the one he loved most was the young son in front of him. His love for this young son even made other sons doubt whether they were his biological children. Father, Yao Yao doesn't know my identity. Yang Chun said seriously, even in front of her, I only showed the same level of cultivation as hers. Moreover, our meeting was purely a coincidence. Before Yang Tianhe could speak, Yang Chun begged, Father, please help the child. With your status, you don't need the child to marry anyone, just let the child be with true love. Seeing this, Yang Tian's frown deepened, but he didn't say anything more and said calmly, Now, as a father, I am curious, what kind of woman is it that makes you obsessed with this? Take me with you. If your father thinks she's okay, then he can propose marriage to his family and choose a good day for you to marry her. Hearing this, Yang Chun was ecstatic. Thank you, father. Thank you, father. Yao Yao will definitely satisfy you. Let's go. Yang Tianhe stepped out, and in a blink of an eye he was already thousands of miles away from Shaoshan Dao sect, and his son was also taken with him. You said before that her home is in the east region? Yes, father. Yang Chun responded quickly. She is the second daughter of Wuxia, the deputy leader of the Dark Knight Forest Chongshan Alliance in the eastern region. Her name is Gui Yao Yao, and she has an older sister. It's a coincidence. When Yang Tianhe and Yang Chun, father and son, arrived at the Chongshan League and near the Gua Mansion, it happened that Xing'an was leading the way to the Gua Mansion for Zhao Ani, Duan Niantian and the 7th-level powerhouse from the royal family of the Jianglan Divine Kingdom to arrive at the Gua Mansion, and Zhao Ani said Ru Hongzhong shouted coldly, Guiqiu, take your daughter and get out and die. Zhao Enya's voice, carrying terrifying power, vibrating and giving, swept through the Gua Mansion, making the entire Gua Mansion restless, and more than 90% of the people were in a state of panic. He was so shaken by the sound that he felt dizzy, and even had bleeding from all his orifices. He fell directly to the ground and died. After a moment, a pale-faced man with a beard came out of the air and looked at Zhao Ani in the distance. His eyes were full of fear, but he still had the courage to raise his hands and asked, My lord, I don't know how my daughter and I were offended, you? Although Duan Niantian was standing next to Zhao Ani, Guiqiu did not know Duan Niantian because the two had never met before. Duan Niantian? However, at this moment, Gua Lily, a young woman with a good face and a slightly fat body, who was in the Gua Mansion, was pale and staring at Zhao Ani with shock and disbelief. Duan Niantian said, Why? Could it be him? Where did he find such a strong person? Is this your revenge on me? At this moment, Gua Lily's heart was full of regret. If she had known that this thought could lead to today's scene, she should have directly destroyed the opponent and eradicated it. Sister, do you know him? Next to Guo Lily was another beautiful woman who looked very similar to her, much prettier than her, and had a much stronger figure. Her face was also slightly pale at this time. The sound just now was so terrifying that it shocked her eardrums were ruptured, and her meridians were almost disrupted while she was practicing. She is none other than Guo Qiu's second daughter, Guo Yao. Yao Yao. At this time, Yang Chun, who had just arrived, also saw Guo Yao. His eyes suddenly lit up, and he said to Yang Tianhe beside him, "Father, that is the person I like, Guo Yao. It's better to come early than to come by chance. Now someone happens to be looking for trouble for my future father-in-law and future sister-in-law. Father, please come out to protect them. In this way, they will definitely treat me as my future uncle in a different light." Chapter 4701. However, unlike his son Yang Chun's innocence, when Yang Tianhe looked at the person who was attacking the Guo family not far away, his eyes showed a bit of solemnity. This old man, and another middle-aged man beside him, stood there with their consciousness exposed. It was not difficult for him to confirm that both of them were 7th-level Dao existences. Although they were weaker than him, they had this level of cultivation, definitely not ordinary people. At least, there is no existence of this level in the Eastern Dark Night Forest. In other words, these two people came from outside the Dark Night Forest. Shut up. Yang Tianhe scolded his son Yang Chun, "You idiot, what else can you think of besides women? Two 7th-level Taoists came to the Guo family to cause trouble. There must be a reason. You can't even connect these two people. I don't even know his background, so I just thought it's so stupid to show off in front of that woman. Two people entering the 7th level?" Yang Chun was frightened when he heard his father's words. He never expected that the people who came to the Guo family to cause trouble this time were actually two beings who had entered the 7th level. They were powerful beings second only to his father. Killing him would be as easy as trampling an ant to death. The other side. After learning the ins and outs of the matter from Duan Niantian, Guo Qiu's face turned pale. He never expected that his daughter would provoke someone with such a background. He actually didn't know about this. It was all done by his daughter alone. Two adults, this young master, Guo Qiu, did not know about this matter. It was all done by my daughter Guo Lily. I will bring her here and hand her over to you. After Guo Qiu finished speaking, he hurriedly brought his daughter Guo Lily over, and Guo Yao also followed. Guo Qiu had many sons, but only 2 daughters, so he loved his 2 daughters the most. However, now that the eldest daughter has caused a huge disaster, he knows full well that he cannot save her. Rather than die together, it is better to send the eldest daughter out and hand it over to the other party, so that he may still be able to survive. "Father, what are you doing?" Guo Lily's face changed drastically, and her eyes looking at Duan Niantian were also filled with fear. If she had known that Duan Niantian had this background, she would not have dared to provoke him even if she was killed. Even if he provoked him, he would have definitely eradicated it long ago, so that the other party would not come to settle the score today. Just now, before her father Guo Qiu left, he had told her that the people who came were so powerful that they were even far superior to the leader of their Chongshan alliance. What does that mean? It means that the person coming is at least on the 5th level. If you have done something wrong, take responsibility for it yourself and don't involve your family. A hint of unbearability flashed deep in Guo Qiu's eyes, but it was quickly replaced by determination, and he gritted his teeth and said in a deep voice. When Guo Lily heard this, her pretty face turned pale, and her whole body trembled violently. Then she looked at Guo Yao beside her and begged, Yao, please save your sister, you must save your sister. Didn't you tell me before that you were here? The prospective Taoist companion found outside. Is he the son of the great elder of Shaoshan Taoist sect? The great elder of Shaoshan Dao sect is a person who has entered the 8th level of Taoism. Guo Yao looked helpless. So what if her would-be Taoist companion had a background in the Shaoshan Taoist sect? No one is here. Moreover, the matter between the two of them may not be settled yet, and the other party's father still needs to make a decision. She herself felt that this matter might not be possible, because beings at that level would definitely value a good match. He and the other party's son may fall in love freely, and the other party may not support it. If not, she has no doubt about the other party's love. A son will choose his father, not him. This is the truth. In this world where the strong are respected, love between men and women is not worth mentioning in the face of a powerful backer. Snort. At this time, young Tianhe in the distance heard Guo Lily's words and couldn't help but glare at his son beside him. Didn't you say that Guo Yaoyao doesn't know your identity? Her sister clearly revealed your identity. Young Chun was startled at first, then smiled awkwardly. Father, I told her later, she didn't know my identity and background when she first started dating me. At this moment, Guo Yaoyao in the distance was looking around anxiously, and suddenly she spotted Yang Chun. Her eyes brightened for a moment. Brother Chun. This time, young Chun couldn't pretend not to be there anymore. After saying hello to his father, Yukong approached. Young Tianhe frowned slightly, fearing that his son would suffer a loss, so he followed him. Guo Lily, who was already in despair, couldn't help but look into the distance after hearing her sister's exclamation. When she saw the two people coming from the sky, a glimmer of light rose in the depths of her eyes, as if she had caught someone. Got the last one to save life? Straw asked. Is it my sister's quasi-Taoist companion, Yang Chun? The son of the great elder of Shaoshan Dao sect? The person behind him is his protector? At the same time, Guo was also attracted by Yang Tianhe and Yang Chun, father and son. His second daughter found a quasi-Taoist companion outside with a different background. He knew about this, but he was not too excited because he knew that the other party's father might not like their family. There is a high probability that this will not happen. Yao Yao, this is my father. After Yang Chun came over, he introduced Guo Yaoyao and Yang Tianhe. Father, this is the Yao Yao I told you. I've met my uncle. While Guo Yaoyao's heart trembled, a light shone in her eyes, and she quickly saluted Yang Tianhe. Guo was also frightened, and quickly bowed and saluted. Guo, deputy leader of the Chongshan Alliance, has met Elder Yang. The famous existence was one that he could hardly see in the past. Even if he saw it, he would not dare to face it easily. The existence of vision. Guo Lily's face turned red with surprise. Not only her brother-in-law-to-be was here, but her father was also here. This is a super strong person who has entered the 8th level. She can be saved, she can be saved. For a moment, Guo Lily looked at Duan Nintian again. She was no longer frightened, but looked a little more joking. Her mood was ups and downs like a roller coaster. Now she sent a voice to challenge, Duan Nintian, even if you find me. So what if I have a backer? Is your backer as strong as mine? Do you know who is coming now? My soon-to-be brother-in-law and his father. His father is the great elder of the Shaoshan Dao sect, the #1 force in our Shaoshan Divine Island, and a super strong man who has entered the 8th level of Taoism. Hearing what the other party said, Duan Nintian couldn't help but frown. Entering the 8th floor? This is much better than Uncle Zhao and the royal family of Jianglan Divine Kingdom around him. If the two of them join forces, they may not be the opponent of the other. As for his father, although he is a strong man in Hedao, he is not present after all, so he may not be able to suppress the opponent just by his name. Chapter 4702. Brother Chun, our family is in trouble, you must help me. Guo Yaoyao did not dare to say this in front of Yang Tianhe, so she could only say to Yang Chun via voice, since I was a child, my sister has taken great care of and loved me. I can't watch anything happen to her. Please, Brother Chun. Faced with Guo Yaoyao's pleading, Yang Chun had no resistance at all. He quickly begged his father to try to help Guo Yaoyao to see if he could save his sister. Although there are very powerful forces behind these two 7th-level Taoists, as long as the forces behind them are within the Shaoshan Island, they are still within the controllable range, because their Shaoshan Dao sect is the most powerful force on the Shaoshan Island. A strong force. He believed that as long as these two people were from Shaoshan Island, it would be easy for his father to ask for face. Yang Tianhe frowned. He really didn't want to get into this muddy water, but now his son was begging via voice, and it was for a woman. As a father, he really couldn't bear to break his son's heart. After all, this is his most beloved son. Both of you. Yang Tianhe finally stood up, looked at Zhao Ani and the powerful Daoist from the royal family of Jianglan Kingdom beside Zhao Ani, slightly raised his hands and said, I am the great elder of Shaoshan Dao sect, Yang Tianhe. How about you guys give me some face in this matter and reconcile with each other? As long as she lives, I, Yang Tianhe, owe you both a favor. When Yang Tianhe said this, although his tone was gentle, the consciousness of the 8th level of Taoism still swept out, faintly covering it up. The purpose of the spiritual consciousness that Zhao Ani and the two released was naturally to let Zhao Ani and the two know his strength. Enter the 8th level. Zhao Ani frowned slightly. However, the 7th level Taoist master from the Jianglan Divine Kingdom royal family next to Zhao Ani sneered, Yang Tianhe, the great elder of Shaoshan Taoist sect? Do you know whose son is the young master Duan Yintian next to me? Seeing that the other party was still so strong after knowing his own strength, Yang Tianhe was inexplicably shocked and at the same time subconsciously looked at Duan Yintian. Before Yang Tianhe could ask, the powerful royal family member of Jianglan Divine Kingdom sneered, this young master Duan Yintian is the son of our Jianglan Divine Kingdom's newly promoted Hedao strongman, Mr. Duan Lingtian. And I am a member of the royal family of Jianglan Divine Kingdom. I am here on the orders of the powerful Hedao master of Jianglan Divine Kingdom, Lord Jiang Tianzheng, to welcome young master Duan Yintian back to Jianglan Divine Kingdom. When he said the first sentence, Yang Tian's expression actually changed drastically in an instant. Guiqiu, who originally thought his daughter was saved, turned pale. Duan Lingtian, the new Hedao powerhouse in Jianglan Divine Kingdom? To be honest, he just heard about this some time ago and knew that there was a new Hedao strongman from the Jianglan Divine Kingdom, known as the Reverse Divine Sword, and his full name was Duan Lingtian. No wonder when he heard Duan Nianshan's name just now, he felt that it sounded familiar. Duan Yintian was Duan Lingshan's son. It's over. Guiqiu knew that his eldest daughter Guolili was dead. Let alone the great elder of the Shaoshan Dao sect, even if the Shaoshan Dao sect devoted all its efforts, they might not be able to save her. Now, he felt panic again. He only hoped that the other party would only kill his daughter and not involve himself and the Guo mansion. Hedao strong man? Guo Yaoyao's pretty face changed, and Yang Chun on the side also looked panicked. She never expected that this matter would involve a strong Hedao man, and he was also the new Hedao from Jianglan Divine Kingdom. He had also heard of the new Hedao from the Jianglan Divine Kingdom, until he was an evil genius who came from the creation life plan world and was extremely talented. It is said that the other party only entered the 8th level of the Tao when he first arrived in their world of gods and earth decades ago. In less than 100 years, he entered the Hedao realm. Many people think that as long as he doesn't die young, he will definitely be able to join the third path and become the top powerhouse in the world of gods and earth before he dies. Of course. At this time, the powerful royal family of Jianglan Divine Kingdom stared at Yang Tianhe and continued, You, Yang Tianhe, can also choose to take action against us. But, let alone you may not be able to keep both of us at the same time, even if can you really keep us and destroy the corpses? Mia Ji, can you still kill everyone in Guo Mansion? As long as one person from Guo Mansion survives, what you did will be exposed. After all, the opportunity to tip off a powerful Hedao person and win their favor is something you don't come across all the time. After talking about it, he took another deep look at Yang Tianhe, and the warning in his eyes was clearly visible. In fact, even if he didn't say it, Yang Tianhe knew this very well. Thinking of the news about the new Hedao that came from Jianglan Divine Kingdom some time ago, Yang Tianhe quickly raised his hand and brought his son Yang Chun to him in a blink of an eye. Then he cupped his hands to Duan Yintian with an apologetic expression, Master Duan, I didn't know that you were the son of Master Duan Lingtian before. I have offended you so much. I hope you can forgive me. I, Yang Tianhe and his son, will not interfere in today's matter again. How you want to deal with this Guamantian is up to you. Even if you need me to help, you can just say hello. Yang Tianhe is very self-aware. Although his Shaoshan Dao sect can also ask the Hedao realm experts to take action, after all, he is not a Hedao realm powerhouse in his own sect, so it is impossible for him to spare no effort for Shaoshan Dao sect. Moreover, even if there is a strong person in the Hedao realm in the contemporary Shaoshan Dao sect, it is unlikely that he would offend another strong person in the Hedao realm for his private affairs. Therefore, after learning that Duan Niantian was a strong man in the Hedao realm, he gave in and didn't feel ashamed at all. Naturally, Duan Niantian and the other three were very satisfied with Yang Tian's statement that those who know the current affairs are heroes. As for the Guo family, Guo Yaoyao's pretty face was pale. She thought she could help her sister Guo Lily, but she didn't expect that the person her sister provoked turned out to be the son of a strong man in the Hedao realm. Isn't this seeking death? At this moment, she felt completely powerless inside, knowing that there was no hope of saving her sister. As for Yang Chun's father Yang Tian's changing face, she didn't complain at all, because even if she put herself in the other person's shoes, she would make the same choice. I hope it won't involve me. Thinking of this, Guo Yaoyao quickly looked at Yang Chun again and said through a message, Brother Chun, not only have I not participated in what my sister did, I don't even know about it. Please ask my uncle to help me so that they will not vent their anger on you. Hearing this, Yang Chun looked at his father, only to find that his father's face was more solemn than ever. This was the first time he had seen his father like this since he was a child. For a moment, Yang Chun was silent. Chapter 4703. Although Yang Chun likes Guo Yaoyao and is willing to do something for her, it does not mean that he will pay for her without thinking. As for what happened today, if the other party really wants the Guo family to die in one piece, he really wants to his father intervened again, not to mention that his father might not be willing. Even if he was willing, he didn't want his father to offend a strong man in Hedao. That's a strong man. There is no such thing as Shaoshan Daozong in contemporary times. According to what his father said to him in the past, if the powerful Hedao really wants to take action against Shaoshan Dao sect, even if all the 8th level and 9th level Taoists who left Shaoshan Tao sect come back, it will still be of no avail and they will still not be able to escape being captured. The ending where he kills him. Therefore, now that he received a message from Guo Yaoyao asking for help, he chose to remain silent and did not reply to her. As for what the other party would think if he was lucky enough to survive this time, he didn't care so much. At most, I can just change to another woman. After all, even if the other party can survive today, who can be sure that the son of this strong Hedao man will not suddenly regret it in the future and still want to kill Guo Yaoyao to eradicate the root cause? When that time comes, if he is still with the other party, he will definitely be implicated and dragged down. That's not what he wants. Guo Lily. Duan Niantian stepped out of the air, his eyes fell on Guo Lily, and a cruel smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. You and I have no enmity at all, but you are too arrogant and domineering, and you insist on being my enemy. Now Guo Lily's face was pale. Facing Duan Niantian, who looked like he wanted to settle a score with her, she quickly said, Duan Niantian, although I have done some things to you, haven't I done anything to embarrass you? If I really want to embarrass you, would I ask you to work as a supervisor on the mining island? If I really wanted to torture you, I would have destroyed your cultivation a long time ago and made you a slave in the mines. After hearing this, Duan Niantian smiled coldly. Guo Lily, I don't know what you think is your wishful thinking. You didn't kill me, you crippled me, you just wanted to make me suffer on the mine island, and you wanted me to change my mind, agree to be with you again. Shui Ping makes things difficult for me everywhere. Do you dare to say it's not your fault? He has hinted to me more than once. If I don't want to stay on mine island anymore, I just need to agree to your request. So, stop showing mercy in front of me. No matter what, you Guolili will definitely die today. After the words fell, Duan Yintian took action boldly, the sword light raging all over his body, and then turned into a giant bright sword light, piercing the sky, bringing up a terrifying wave of energy, making the air seem to stand still for an instant, and then slashed towards Guolili. At the same time, Zhao Ani and the 7th level of the imperial family of Jianglan Divine Kingdom also swept across the 4 directions with their spiritual consciousness, targeting Wuxia and the rest of the people in the Guo mansion. Even Yang Tianhe and his son are deliberately wary. Although Yang Tian's words sounded nice, who knew if he was talking one thing and doing the other behind his back, so he had to be careful. Faced with Duan Nianshan's thunder blow, it was naturally impossible for Guolili not to resist, but she suppressed by the invisible force that Zhao Ani swept out from the air. The power in his body seemed to be sealed and could not be mobilized at all. Can wait for death with a look of despair on his face. Am I really going to die? Are there no miracles? Guolili is getting more and more desperate. And as if God heard Guolili's inner call, there was a sudden explosion in the sky, terrifying power shook the void, the clouds shattered, and then a figure fell from the sky, and a bright stream of light swept down from the sky. The meteor swept towards Duan Yintian. Not good dash. The expressions of Zhao Ani and the powerful royal family members changed greatly, and they all took action, but they could only barely block the terrifying offensive that swept down from the sky. Boom! The earth-shattering explosion spread, and then shock waves spread, and the terrifying air waves spread like a mushroom cloud. With only the remaining strength, Duan Nianshan's offensive was crushed. On Guolili's side, the suppression originated from Zhao Ani is gone. Guolili looked surprised. Enter the 8th level? Seeing that Zhao Ani and Zhao Ani were unable to withstand the attacker's attack when they joined forces, Yang Tian's eyes lit up and he knew that his chance to perform had come, so he quickly took action to help the two of them block the attacker's attack. Who are you? The powerful member of the royal family of the Jianglan Divine Kingdom glared at the visitor and roared sternly, I am a member of the royal family of the Jianglan Divine Kingdom, and behind me is Lord Jiang Tianzheng, a powerful member of the Hedao realm of the Jianglan Divine Kingdom. Do you know who you are attacking? This is the son of our Jianglan Divine Kingdom's new Hedao strongman, Master Duan Lingtian. Before the visitor could speak, Zhao Ani shook his head helplessly. It doesn't make much sense to tell him this. This is the enemy of my brother Lingtian. At the same time, Zhao Ani stared at the visitor with an unkind look, and there was a hint of sarcasm in the corner of his mouth. Laughing, Lei Hong, you are really getting better and better as you live. After all, you are also a super strong man who was famous in all the worlds, even in places outside the world. You and I, Ling Tian, my brother has a grudge. If you have the means, you can seek revenge from him, but you are here to embarrass a child. I am ashamed of you. That's right. The person who came was none other than Lei Hong. After getting out of seclusion and learning about Duan Lingshan's promotion to Hedao, after being drunk for a few nights, under despair and pressure, Lei Hong took the crucial step and entered the 8th level of the Dao. He went to the capital of Jianglan Divine Kingdom, thinking that if Duan Lingtian was not around, he would take action against his family and friends. However, he learned that Duan Lingshan's close relatives and friends had been taken away by him. At this moment, he happened to meet Sheng and going to the Duan mansion and told the remaining people in the Duan mansion that there was news about Duan Lingshan's son Duan Yintian. Therefore, he followed Zhao Ani and Sheng to Shaoshan Island. Zhao Ani, who was on the 8th level, followed him all the way, but Zhao Ani, who was on the 7th level, had no way of noticing. He was originally preparing to take action on Mine Island, but he heard that Duan Yintian actually wanted to seek revenge, so he thought of ruining Duan Nianshan's good deeds and then killing him when Duan Yintian was preparing to kill his enemy. The Oriole is behind. It's more fun this way. So, he took action at this time. Unexpectedly, there was an 8th level Daoist at the scene who stepped in to help Zhao Ani and the others. Who are you? Lei Hong stood in the void, looked directly at Yang Tianhe, and said in a cold voice, We are both on the 8th level of the Dao. I advise you not to interfere in my affairs, otherwise you will be my enemy, Lei Hong. He has been hiding all this time. Above the clouds, although they also saw Yang Tianhe and his son from a distance, they did not know their identities, nor did they know that Yang Tianhe had entered the 8th level like him, and his strength was obviously still at his level. Newly promoted to the 8th level. When Zhao Ani and the two found it difficult to resist his offensive, they easily intervened to neutralize his methods. Chapter 4704. It was precisely because he had been promoted to the 8th level that Lei Hong dared to think about causing trouble for Duan Lingshan's family and friends. Otherwise, with his previous strength at the 7th level, the Yu Shao, in Duan Mansion and Zhao Ani, in Qingyun Mansion would have been enough. Join forces to defeat him. Repel. The last time he went to the capital of Jianglan Divine Kingdom, he certainly didn't go there to defeat these two people and avenge his shame. Because he knew that after Duan Lingtian was promoted to the Hadao realm, he must have gained the deep friendship from the royal family of the Jianglan Kingdom, otherwise the Duan Mansion and the Qingyun Mansion would not have moved to the capital of the Jianglan Kingdom. Duan Lingtian must have greeted the strong men from the royal family of Jianglan Kingdom. If he takes action against Shao and the two, it will inevitably attract the intervention of powerful people from the royal family, and then he may really stay there forever. His plan was to assassinate. With his 8th level Dao strength, as long as there are no beings above the 8th level Dao in Duan Mansion and Qingyun Mansion, it will not be difficult for him to kill anyone. He can kill Yu Shao, Zhao Ani, and the powerful royal family members before they kill it. However, what he didn't expect was that Duan Lingshan's family and friends would all be moved. Finally got the news about Duan Lingshan's son Duan Niantian. He followed him. He thought he was sure of success, but he didn't expect that when he was overwhelming Zhao Ani and another 7th level Daoist, an 8th level Daoist suddenly appeared. Layer, intervene and defeat his offensive. Although it was only a brief confrontation, he could clearly sense that the other party was stronger than himself. So what if I'm your enemy? Facing Lei Hong's threat, Yang Tianhe smiled coldly and forcefully. It was completely different from the politeness he showed in front of Duan Niantian before, as if they were two completely different people. And all this was naturally because he had just received a message from Zhao Ani. Elder Yang, this man's name is Lei Hong. He was my brother Lingshan's enemy when he created the world of Mingpan. Today, I ask you to help repel him and help my nephew Niantian back to the river. Lanshan Kingdom, this favor, I'll take the debt first on behalf of my brother Ling Tian. Zhao Ani did this because he was naturally worried that Yang Tianhe would only intervene briefly and then ignore them. He never expected that Lei Hong would break through and enter the 8th level of the Dao. In this way, he and the powerful royal family are no match for Lei Hong. It is almost impossible to keep Duan Niantian. Fortunately, there was a strong man on the 8th level who was not weaker than Lei Hong. In order to draw the opponent to his camp, he directly sent a message to the opponent to tell him the details of Lei Hong. The implication was that Lei Hong came from the creation world. There is no backer in the divine earth world. And if you help deal with Lei Hong, the other party will be able to gain the favor of a strong Hadao man. Which one is more important? Zhao Ani believes that Yang Tianhe will make a choice. Lei Hong, as long as I, Yang Tianhe, are here today, you can never hurt this little brother. Yang Tianhe ducked and arrived in front of Duan Niantian, protecting him behind him. Although Duan Niantian knew that the other party must have done this for the sake of his father, he still thanked him quickly and secretly breathed a sigh of relief. Fortunately, this 8th level Taoist was here, otherwise he might not have done it today. Really dead here. Who would have thought that Lei Hong, his father's former enemy, would actually step into the 8th level of the Tao after coming to the world of the gods? Moreover, it happened to appear here. No need to guess, he could also imagine that the other party must have followed Zhao Ani and the others. Then let me see what you can do. Lei Hong roared loudly, like a beast roaring. The air around his body vibrated in an instant, and exploded with terrifying power, setting off billowing air waves, as if a mushroom cloud was rising. Then his whole body was as excited as a cannonball. Shoot down. Boom. When the thunderstorm exploded at full speed, the air exploded wherever it passed, shaking the earth and the earth. Seeing this, Yang Tian's face darkened, his strength trembled, and he was ready to take action in an instant to face this Lei Hong. However, the scene that happened next moment made Yang Tianhe couldn't help but be stunned for a moment. But when he, Zhao Ani, and the powerful royal family were all preparing to take action, Lei Hong, who was shooting down, actually made a turn and rushed towards Guolili, and then took her towards the distance to break through the air. It was obvious that it's a sound coming from the east and attacking from the west, and he has no intention of fighting Yang Tianhe. For a moment, Yang Tianhe couldn't help but became angry. Damn it. How dare you tease me? Without any hesitation, Yang Tianhe chased after him. However, because Lei Hong had already had a plan and set off first, even if Yang Tianhe was a little faster, Lei Hong still escaped and disappeared under Yang Tian's divine consciousness. No trace. When Yang Tianhe came back, his face was still very ugly. At the same time, he raised his hands to Duan Niantian and said, Master Duan, it was me, Yang Tianhe, who was too careless and allowed Lei Hong to rescue your enemy. It's okay, Elder Yang. Duan Niantian shook his head and said, compared to my enemy being taken away, I am lucky to be alive today. Next, for the sake of Yang Tianhe, it was confirmed that Guo Qiu and Guo Yaoyao were against Guolili for targeting him. After being unaware of the matter and not participating in it, Duan Niantian did not implicate them after all. After all, Yang Tianhe saved his life today. Life. Zhao Ani told him that if Yang Tianhe was not there, it would be difficult to protect him. Master Duan, in fact, the matter between my son and Guo Yaoyao has not been settled at all, and I have not agreed to this marriage. You don't have to let her go for my sake. Yang Tianhe was a little anxious, fearing that the other party would just return the life-saving grace. This favor is of no use to him. What he cares more about is the favor of Duan Lingtian, the powerful Hadao man. Duan Niantian has been outside for many years. Although his strength is still average, he is very clear about the world of people. Don't worry, Elder Yang, I will inform my father about this and let him know that you saved my life. I hope that in the future he can do whatever he can to help you. When Yang Tianhe heard this, his face suddenly brightened. Thank you, Master Duan. Afterwards, Yang Tianhe took his son and escorted Duan Niantian to Jianglan Divine Kingdom. After returning to Jianglan Divine Kingdom, he naturally saw Duan Lingtian, who had been waiting there for a long time. Looking at the stalwart figure not far away and the familiar handsome face, Duan Niantian rushed forward with excitement. Father. Looking at his son who was hugging him tightly and whose height was the same as his own, Duan Lingtian reached out and patted his shoulder. It's good to be back. It's good to be back. I will send you to your mother later. Your mother will be very happy. She has been talking about you for a long time and has been worried about your safety. As Duan Lingtian spoke, he looked at the unfamiliar faces standing with Zhao Ani not far away, and asked curiously, Brother Zhao, who are these four? Chapter 4705. After returning to Jianglan Divine Kingdom, the 7th-level member of the royal family immediately returned to the royal family and resumed his life. The four people around Zhao Ani were Yang Tianhe and his son, as well as Xing'an and Xueping, the two people who helped Duan Niantian recognize his relatives. The main reason why the two came with them was to leave the Chongshan alliance and join the royal family of Jianglan Divine Kingdom. This was what Zhao Ani had promised them, and Zhao Ani was confident that with his own face, the royal family would not refuse to accept them and give them a good job. Of course, Zhao Ani knew very well that the reason why the royal family was so polite to him, a 7th-level cultivator, was mostly because of Duan Lingtian. However, although Zhao Ani could make arrangements for Xing'an and Xueping, they still wanted to visit Duan Lingtian first after learning that Duan Lingtian happened to be in the Duan mansion. Brother Lingtian, this. Faced with Duan Lingshan's inquiry, Zhao Ani introduced the four people one by one. Especially when introducing Yang Tianhe, he bluntly said that Yang Tianhe had been a great help, otherwise this time even if he and another royal family were raped, even if the enemy takes action, it will be difficult to defeat Duan Niantian was brought back intact. After learning the ins and outs of the matter, Duan Lingshan's expression darkened. He didn't expect that Lei Hong would actually step into the 8th level of the Dao, and this time his son almost failed to return. Elder Yang. Duan Lingtian looked at Yang Tianhe. His handsome face and warm smile made people feel like spring breeze, but it made the latter a little flattered. After all, the other person stood at the pinnacle of the world of gods and earth, a genuine Hadao. Strong. Master Duan Lingtian, just call me Yang Tianhe. Yang Tianhe spoke in fear, lowered his head and bowed in salute. I'll call you Lao Yang. Duan Lingtian stepped forward and patted Yang Tianhe on the shoulder. Duan Lingtian, only have a son. It's really hard to imagine how sad I would be if something happened to him. It's his mother. My wife must also be there. It's heartbreaking. I, Duan Lingtian, owe you a big favor. In the future, if you ask for anything, as long as I can do it and it doesn't violate my principles, I can grant it to you. Duan Lingshan's words can be said to be very accurate. After all, the other party saved his son's life, which is equivalent to a huge kindness. Hearing this, Yang Tian's face turned red. Master Duan Lingtian, you're welcome. Duan Lingtian patted the other party's shoulder again. In the next period of time, you can stay in Jianglan Divine Kingdom for a while to see if have you thought about what you want me to do. If you haven't thought about it yet, when you need me in the future, it's okay to come to Duan's house and say hello. By the way, you can take a stroll here and feel the customs here. Having said this, he looked at Zhao Ani again. Old Zhao, I will leave it to you to entertain Lao Yang. Rest assured. Zhao Ani smiled and nodded. I will make Elder Yang feel at home. Immediately afterwards, Duan Lingtian exchanged a few words with Xue Ping and Shingen, and the two couldn't help but feel flattered. When Duan Lingtian asked them if they needed help with anything, when they arrived, they bluntly said that Zhao Ani had already helped them solve the problem. Hearing this, Duan Lingtian said nothing more. Yang Chun, I have met Lord Duan Lingtian. From behind, Yang Chun also came forward excitedly and saluted Duan Lingtian respectfully. Before Duan Lingtian could respond, Yang Tianhe looked at his son and said, Master Duan Lingtian, I have already thought about what I want to ask you for. After nodding kindly to Yang Chun, Duan Lingtian couldn't help but be startled when he looked at Yang Tianhe again. Old Yang, have you thought of it so quickly? Tell me, what's the matter? Although he felt that Yang Tianhe was a little careless and did not take his favor to heart, Duan Lingtian still respected the other party's wishes and was also curious about what kind of favor he wanted. Before Yang Tianhe could speak, Zhao Ani frowned and said, Elder Yang, Brother Lingtian is now a strong man in the Hadao realm. You'd better be cautious when dealing with favors from a strong man of this level. He also felt that Yang Tianhe was too reckless. Is this really the great elder of the Shaoshan Dao sect, the strongest force on Shaoshan Island? Why do you look like a dumbass? Yang Tianhe smiled and said, I've thought about it. Lord Duan Lingtian, what I want to ask of you is, I hope you can accept my son as your disciple. This short sentence made everyone, including Duan Lingtian, stunned. In the end, the person involved, Yang Chun, was the first to come to his senses. His eyes were shining and his face was full of anticipation. If he can become the disciple of this powerful man in the Hadao realm, who will dare to mess with him in the future? However, he was not happy for long. After Duan Lingtian came to his senses, he shook his head and said with a bitter smile, Old Yang, logically speaking, your request is really not difficult. However, there are some things that I still need to explain to you clearly in advance. I was promoted to Hadao, and the way I combined was the infinite sword way. You must have heard that in the world of gods and earth, there are existences that combine infinite swordsmanship. Speaking of this, he glanced at Yang Tianhe. As soon as these words came out, Duan Lingtian didn't need to say anything. Yang Tian's face changed slightly. Infinite Sword Dao? Master Duan Ling Tian, are you kidding me? Although he knew about Duan Lingshan's promotion to Hedao, he only heard about it through hearsay, and he didn't know what Duan Lingshan's Hedao was. Now, when he heard Duan Ling Tian say that he combined the Tao with infinite swordsmanship, the first thing he thought of was the Wanshan Qin clan. The Qin family of Wanshan is a double master. One of the beings who combines the three ways is different. He is one of the top existences among the powerful ones in the world of gods and earth. The other Hedao is the existence of Hedao with the infinite sword. In the world of gods and earth, living in the same era and contracting the same Tao is undoubtedly a big taboo. However, when he thought about it, he thought that Duan Ling Tian came from the world of creation and destiny. Since the other party was able to merge with the Tao so quickly, it meant that before living in the world of gods and earth, the two strongest Tao that the other party had understood were the infinite Tao and swordsmanship. In this case, it is natural to combine infinite swordsmanship. In addition, seeing Yang Tian's expression change, Duan Ling Tian continued, the two Hedao members of the Wanshan Qin family have come to Jianglan Divine Kingdom some time ago and want to cause trouble for me. Because of this, I have already put those closest to you around you. My relatives and friends were moved away and arranged in a place that only I knew, because I was worried that the Qin family in Wanshan would attack them because they did not respect martial ethics. Although I can also kill other members of the Wanshan Qin family to take revenge on them. But once tragedy occurs, what's the point? You're tuning into the Biyao's Wuxia Chronicles YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.